is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
South Florida's premier law enforcement agency is now hiring individuals like you. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is now accepting applications for non-certified and certified police officer positions. Minimum requirements and qualifications can be found on flpdjobs.com. That's flpdjobs.com. Are you ready? The city of Fort Lauderdale is an equal opportunity employer.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411, and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. You're tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, aka the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Offense to the heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Spotty Pablo in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go, Miami, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
On the morning show, we go. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk...
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live.
When you're ready to purchase a new home or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee, and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today. 786-802-1727 or online at adreamlending.com. The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Oh, hold on. All righty. Welcome aboard. There we go. There we go. Okay, now we are set. Now we're ready to rock and roll. on a beautiful Friday. Yes. Okay. No, they're saying all good now. So we're all good now. So appreciate it all out there as always. Thank you all. Welcome aboard to the program. We will carry you till about 1:00 like we usually do. Sometimes we go a little longer. You just never know. It's one of those kind of things. We're not tied to any kind of corporate entity, which is a beautiful thing. But anyway, welcome aboard. Last weekend we had no football, right? Well, we had everybody else's football, but not our football because our Dolphins were off. We had the Mario Cristobal stuff. At least that satisfied us, right? This week, our Dolphins are back. I know, minus a couple of COVID issues with Jalen Waddle, and we'll find out about Lindsey Gaskin if any of those guys can clear by Sunday. What's that? Yeah, Jared Dokes. Yeah. Well, I mean, if the running back room has a couple, you figure they're all around each other, and so there it goes. And now you got the issue, and so we got COVID all over the place. Obviously, apparently this whole Omicron thing spreads a lot easier than the other ones, and that's the whole thing about being unvaccinated and keeping it alive as much as possible. It gets to morph into other things. Now, hopefully this variant isn't as bad as some of the other ones have been, and hopefully it's not. We'll see. But man, it's just a tough situation, and it's like we can't let our guard down. We got to keep pretty diligent about all of this stuff, washing your hands, and try to be as responsible as possible, so that way you don't catch it and you don't pass it on to somebody, and then that could affect them. That's the thing about all of this. It's Russian roulette. They don't know. Nobody knows exactly how it affects one person or another. It could affect somebody a lot more than somebody else, and so that's why we have to be careful with all of this. But we're watching it in sports now. The Panthers were playing without a boatload of people yesterday. They got throttled by the Kings, 4-1. The Heat are dealing. The Heat, the NBA is dealing with it in a big time way. The NFL is dealing with it in a big time way. So this is just one of those. This is life, man. This is the way This is where we're at now, and unfortunately, this is we still have to try to fight through this whole thing, and the adversity is going. It's been a challenge for the Miami Dolphins all year because of their lack of effectiveness at the offensive side of the ball. Their offensive line is so bad that their offense is a quick passing offense, and I think Tua has done a marvelous job of adjusting to it. And this week now you're going to have to see him adjust without his number one wide receiver, which is Jalen Waddle. And I know Jalen Waddle's the rookie, but he's clearly the number one wide receiver on this team. He's he's catching more passes than most everybody else in the NFL. And so poor kid now has got to deal with the COVID. He's out. This sets the offense back. So now we've got to hope that other guys step up like Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker has got to be huge in this game. Mac Hollins is a guy that all he does is make plays. Every time you go out there and you put him on the field, all he does is make plays. So you're going to need those kind of guys to step up. Isaiah Ford, let me tell you, you got your slot guy now, right? Because you figure Parker and Hollins can be the outside guys, and Ford can be your slot guy. And I think most of us as Dolphin fans are pretty satisfied with Isaiah Ford the last couple of years, the way he's developed and he's played well. And where I got to give Isaiah a ton of credit is every time he plays, he's ready. And you can't say anything about that except, young man, you're a professional. And that's one of those guys I root for in a big time way because he's fighting all kinds of adversity. That guy's been cut and signed and cut and signed and put on practice squads and then activated and sent back to practice squads and then traded and comes back and somehow or another finds a way to stay focused and tries to improve through all the adversity and never gives up on himself. And he's made plays for this team. He's made plays already this year. So guys like that have to step up, have to find a way. Albert Wilson has to learn that to go north, okay? Like first downs guy, okay? Go past the marker. Don't go behind the marker now. So we'll see. I mean, Albert Wilson and Preston Williams are two guys I hope they contribute, but I'm not necessarily counting on them. I'm counting on Mac Hollins. I'm counting on Devontae Parker. And I'm counting on Isaiah Ford. And obviously, Mike Gesicki is another guy that has to be huge in this game. And so that's where the adversity now hits at the wide receiver spot and for the quarterback. Now he's got to find a way to use the other guys and make them effective. And the good thing about Tua is if you're open, he'll find you. But guys are going to have to find a way to get open quickly. And Isaiah Ford and Devontae Parker have been able to do those kind of things. And Mac Hollins will give him a big body and a big target. So let's hope that they're able to step up because those receivers are going to be enormous this weekend. And it's going to be fun to see how Tua also, not fun for him personally, because it's got to suck for him to lose Waddle, but it'll be fun to watch him adjust again to all the crappiness that's going around him. I can't say enough about Tua Tagovailoa and how he has adjusted to everything going on, man. I have nothing but admiration for that young man, the way he's played. So, yes, sir.
Well, we got Ira standing by.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard him, but also want to tell you about adversity. Washington football team got hit with COVID again today.
How many? Taylor
Heineke and the backup Kyle Allen, both to the COVID list.
Wow.
On top of the other 18 players that went the other day, now their whole quarterback room pretty much is on the COVID list.
Right, yeah. I mean, the smart thing was what the Chiefs did last year when they had McCown signed and they had him at home hanging out. And I think that's what you're going to have to do if you're an NFL team is your third quarterback has to stay home and has to do everything virtually, away from everybody. And so just in case you lose your top two, your third guy, well, hopefully he's not, going for wings at a Atlanta strip club, but hopefully your third guy is disciplined and stays home. Look, man, I get that our worlds have been altered. Our lives have been altered. I'm so sorry for all of you that want to go get drunk every single night at a bar and you can't go do it now. And you can't do the same things that you were doing. I would love to go to concert after concert after concert. I can't do it. You know what I mean? Can't do it. I'm sorry. It's just life has changed for a little bit here, and we have to suck it up. But the part that I think a lot of people don't understand is the faster we are disciplined to doing the right things, the faster we get back to our normal lives. The more we fight it, the more we create more problems for ourselves and everybody else. The more we don't believe in what's going on, the more we go against it, the more it festers, the more it lives, the more it morphs, and the more it affects all of us. That's the reality. And that's what's happening. And if you don't want to believe it, that's fine. And that's just the way of the world, man. Some people are just going to be dead set on their ways, but this is what, and this is what will happen, and it will continue to happen as long as we have people in this world that are refusing to vaccinate and are helping to keep the virus alive. If we get everybody vaccinated, you will have a much better chance of fighting it off or even eliminating it all at once, like we did with polio decades ago, which it took decades to eliminate, even with a vaccine. All right, let's do this. Let's switch gears. Let's talk a little basketball. The Miami Heat, they're dealing with their own COVID issues. The NBA is dealing with COVID issues. They're also dealing with injury issues. They're dealing with frustrations. We talk about that and more with Ira Winderman and the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. That's next.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Righty, there we go. Appreciate it. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, with no glasses. He's ready to go. He's locked and loaded. He is Ira Winderman. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And we start with some breaking news. Ira, you have already just tweeted out that the Magic have canceled their shoot-around. Miami is facing the Magic tonight. What's the latest?
Orlando had a player put into protocols last night, so that always raises question, Big O. I texted back to the Orlando PR staff and I said, is this protocol related? And I got the very cryptic, and you've been in this business long enough to wonder when they say, when we have more information, we'll get back to you. Oh, here's the problem.
In other words, yes.
Well, in other words, because as you know, when HIPAA laws and anything you can hide behind,
That's right.
they're not going to tell you. But I'm actually checking my phone now out of one eye, is the Heat are scheduled to begin their shoot around shortly at the Amway Center, where, of course, the Magic play. Do you want to bring your team in there any earlier than you have to because of their situation? So a lot of this is going to be fluid. I know all the leagues are going toward just get the games played. But I'm not so sure I would want to go to any other team's facility and hold a practice these times. It's like it's just like what you mentioned about having your third quarterback stay at home and the hell away from trouble. I think all teams have to do that. The Heat have been very limited with practices lately, in part because there were times, for example, I'll give you an example. In Philadelphia, the Heat almost always, they stay downtown, they practice at Temple University, not at a synagogue. They practice at Temple. But this time they decided they were going to practice at the Wells Fargo Center along a drive. Why? Because that building is protected by NBA protocols. You go on a college campus. We've seen what's happened at Cornell and a lot of other colleges. You don't know. So it's going to be very, very careful. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm sitting in a hotel.
Do they even
here in
bring their own
Orlando.
basketballs, by the way?
Excuse me?
Do they bring their own basketballs?
They do. They actually travel, and they actually have an imprint with the team's name on them. So even when you play in another arena, if you look closely at the ball that's going to be used, if there's a game tonight, it will say Orlando Magic on it, home team ball. It's, it'd be interesting if it's like college football where you switch the ball each possession. Okay, here's the ACC ball. Here's the Big Ten ball. They don't do that. So I am curious to see how this plays out. I like what the NFL has done. I don't know how much you've gotten to this or not. They're not only testing players, but there's a thing called spin rate, and maybe some of your doctors out there listening can fill you in.
I know about it.
And basically, they run the test through a centrifuge. And if it takes X amount of time or longer, it's not considered transmissible. So it's not the blanket anymore. You tested positive, you don't play. Now they're moving to stage 2. You tested positive, but you're not contagious. Well, if that's the count and you want to live in your own misery and play on, you can. I think that's where we're headed also. And you know what? Money should not be a factor. Whether that testing takes longer or that testing is more costly.
Yes.
In multi-billion-dollar industries, you pay what it takes to continue on.
That's right. And you protect your multi-billion-dollar investments.
Yes.
Which is your teams and your players. So, you might as well. And that's where Baker Mayfield actually was taking a shot at the NFL, because they're not testing vaccinated players on a daily basis in the NFL. And they want to go back to that, which makes a lot of sense, because just because we're all I'm vaccinated and boosted, it doesn't mean I can't get it. It still means I have to be responsible. Still means I should wash my hands several times a day.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It just,
yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. It was funny. I spoke to an NBA, well, not funny. Nothing's funny these days, but I spoke to an NBA agent. He had an interesting take for me. He says, I'm surprised the NFL doesn't let them back because they're killing them all with brain damage eventually anyway. Right. So there's a much different take in the NBA than maybe the NFL. Look, the NFL is the He-Man sport. You go out, ain't no virus going to stop me. The NBA has been a little bit different. And let's face it, honestly, and I know you've straddled that line very well, being your Miami Republican background and all that. I'm just kidding there. Is that the NBA is the liberal Democrat, sort of league. The NFL very much is the conservative Republican league. So it will be interesting to see the dual takes there when that's going on.
Oh, there's no doubt. That's why usually the NBA's ahead of the curve. They're usually more progressive and understand everything and deal with these all kinds of these, issues better than any other league overall. And it's not because of whatever political side that we want to, add them to, but it is what it is, unfortunately. All right. So tonight, what are we dealing with? What is the Heat of? We know Bam is out. We know Jimmy's out. We know Markieff is out. Tyler, what's the latest?
Well, and also Victor Oladipo, who's always
Oh,
out,
yeah.
is out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
of course, Caleb Martin, because he's in protocols, about to get
That's
out of
right.
protocols based on the
Right.
10 days. Okay, they have two players. They have Tyler Hero, who's dealing with that quad contusion. I honestly think Eric Spoelstra will never tell us this, but makes a risk analysis when he plays an opponent. Do I have to force someone back or bring someone back maybe a little too early, or can I afford an extra game? Orlando's very shorthanded. I think if Spo thinks he can get anything like what he got out of Gabe Vincent on Wednesday night in Philadelphia, he probably holds Tyler out. And for those who might not have noticed, Omar Yurtseven took a bad fall, a Jimmy Butler-like fall right on his tailbone. Again, just like Jimmy's been out now through 2 weeks, that tailbone injury can take up to 3 weeks. So they don't have a lot of centers. But you know what? This Orlando team might be the type of opponent, and I'm not being condescending here, just being honest, where maybe you can play Udonis Haslem as your backup center need be and not have to force Big Yurt into minutes when he's ailing. So I really think this is really going to be a risk assessment by Eric Spoelstra. He's going to say, do we have to have Tyler Hero to win? Do we have to have Omar Yurtseven to win? Or can we just go with 9 players tonight, coronavirus testing allowing, and sort of go from there? It's crazy times, but I got to tell you.
Can we go back and check our memory banks and see how many times you were much better than the Magic and still lost?
Yeah, but you know what? Okay, and that's fine. But there's no Nikola Vucevic.
I'm just what's it called? What's the word that I'm looking for? I am just kind of like I'm tortured. That's the word. I'm tortured with this team.
All the torturers are gone. There's no more Vucevic. There's no more Evan Fournier. This will be a new generation of torturers, if there's such a word.
God,
but it is.
If they lose tonight, I'm just going to be mother effing you the entire night.
Well, I think Cole Anthony's the kind of guy who could possibly do that. Not a lot of other singular stars on this Orlando roster.
I know. God.
But I look, I feel your pain. I have felt your pain both up here in Orlando and down in Miami at FTX, American Airlines, Miami Arena when it comes to the Magic, that even the worst of times, the curse of Pat Williams endures.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. People were kind of getting a little excited about watching Depot practice a little bit publicly. Sure. Should we start getting any kind of excitement, or is this just a little bit of the process?
I would put it this way. The Heat doesn't offer a lot of teases. Most of the time when players are out of availability, they're out of sight and out of mind.
You're right.
The fact that Victor Oladipo is traveling, is working with the trainers and shooting pregame, is going through all of that, I think is a very good sign. I'm actually curious to see what happens next with Victor Oladipo for this reason. Some of the Heat training staff are now returning to Miami to amp up the work for Jimmy Butler. They're going to get Jimmy doing a little more. I'm wondering if Victor went home to work in that workout session, maybe work against Jimmy a little more. But you know what? The Heat never give a tease. They never show you something and then take it away, because Pat Riley basically is smarter than that.
Yeah.
That's why Eric Spoelstra wasn't happy with Markieff Morris shooting on the main court when he was still working back. So yeah, I think we're moving closer. How much closer? I still think we're weeks away. I have not seen him scrimmage. I have not seen him play at speed yet.
Sure.
But hey, I'll take any little sort of acorn I can get if it's going to lead to a positive result. And again, I say this, COVID aside, injuries aside, if you can get Victor Oladipo back to anything like what Victor Oladipo once was, I'm not sure I would put the Heat behind any other team in the East beyond Brooklyn and beyond Milwaukee, and would definitely give them a puncher's chance with Victor Oladipo in a 7-game series against both of those teams.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with you on that. I'm going to go a little more overboard on that. I think if you get a healthy Depot, I think that he can beat anybody.
In the East or in the league.
Yes. No, you know what? I think they can give anybody in the West. I haven't seen yet the West where it's, I know Golden State's playing their asses off and they're not even 100% themselves either, by the way. They still have to add Clay, which is one of the great two-way players in our league. But yeah, I think they could still match up and get, because of their mental toughness and all that. And let me tell you something, Ira, what I've been saying, I told you the last couple of weeks with these injuries, development is good. Some of these guys are developing. So now you're maybe even getting the roster deeper and better for the back end of the season. But I'm with you. I think they can beat anybody in the East and maybe even be scary competitive with whoever they run into in the West.
I might have to jump over in that other box and hit you upside the head, or run you over with one of those spanking new Acuras there of Acura of Pembroke Pines. I'm not so sure I'm going that far, but yes, they've created hope. They've created that.
They
Hey,
got a bunch of
someone's out.
bitches, man. They got a bunch of bitches, and
Gabe Vincent's the latest one, and you
Yes.
know what? And they don't tolerate any softies. And even I think they read to a degree the riot act with KZ Akpala. Shape up, do something tangible, or move to the back, and we're going to move aside. And even he has had some moments lately. There probably is not a player on this roster, maybe Udonis because he doesn't play, who hasn't stepped up and had his moments amid all of this in the last 2 weeks. I totally agree with that.
All right, so I know the numbers look pretty good if you saw the stats, but I was frustrated with Duncan down the stretch the other night. And while I'm watching Gabe Vincent, and I'm going, Duncan, I need you to have that edge there. You see that guy, Gabe Vincent? That guy is shooting with people in his face and making shots. He is showing me an edge that I'm not seeing from Duncan yet. And maybe, Duncan kind of reminds me of Ryan Tannehill, that like the environment has to be perfect in order for him to be in a groove. But if there's disruption or chaos, I talk about this in football, that's where I measure my quarterback. I don't measure my quarterback when the running game is great and the offensive line is great and all the receivers are healthy and everything. Yeah, you should be pretty good already at that point. But when you're playing with your third left tackle and your backup center and your number one wide receiver is out, can you elevate and can you make other people better? And when there's a lot of chaos, and we've watched Tua live under chaos the entire time and he's gotten better. I need to see Duncan Robinson, because I've seen Tyler Hero playing chaos and he's good. I've seen Bam. And I'm watching Gabe Vincent playing chaos, and that's how we learned about Dwayne Wade, and that's how you learned about Jimmy Butler in their early days. When it got chaotic, when it got tough, they got tougher. Where is that in Duncan? Or does that not exist?
I think he's a product of a system who has to play in a system. Maybe your Tannehill analogy works there also. The Heat have always felt they're going to have a system anyway. He opened 4 or 5. He missed his last 6 3-point attempts. Oh, and I've stressed this to you every week here, twice a week in our Acura of Pembroke Pines reports, is this. Until Duncan stops attracting attention, he still is fulfilling at least one of his mandates.
True.
And he was attracting attention.
You're right.
And Danny Green, a very good defender, was keeping an eye on him. And Matisse Thybulle, an outstanding young defender, was assigned on him and not assigned on Gabe Vincent and not assigned on Kyle Lowry. So he did fulfill a mandate of being someone you had to cover, you had to pay attention to. He's not going to score off the dribble and create threes like Gabe Vincent did. That wonderful offensive rebound on Kyle's miss and then put it back up there. Duncan Robinson probably will not be more than we've seen him at his best. The Heat thought is at his best, it's good enough. It's like a Kyle Korver or guys like that. No one's rushing out during his prime to get Kyle Korver to be a leading man. But as your 4th or 5th guy on that Atlanta team, he's the kind of guy. So I think that's the analogy. Duncan has done enough. When Duncan stops getting attention, when you're sitting with me there at FTX Arena and Duncan's in the corner and ain't nobody within 5 feet, then I'd be scared, very scared. Until then, he's meeting at least half of his mandate.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great explanation. What a great comparison on Kyle Korver. That makes that is him. That's a really, really good one there.
That's not with as good a hair, but that's another story.
Right. Well, yeah, that's another story. Just out of curiosity, I know it's not your beat, but you talk with enough people. You have the Orlando Sentinel there, so you know the people that cover it, and they've been on that beat over the years. How is that atmosphere now? Because they never get it right, Ira. I mean,
they are killing
since the aforementioned Pat Williams hitting the lottery year after year, and those beautiful young Magic players that they had back in that day, and they had that run.
Everyone left.
Yeah.
And that's ever since Shaq left and Dwight Howard left, it's been diminished. And it's been diminished to the degree right now that the Orlando soccer team is more popular. They're the story in town right now. Yeah, everyone loves, Orlando's team. And even UCF's rise in college football, maybe a little down now. We'll see what they do against the Gators in the always popular Gasparilla Bowl, but they've sort of moved to number 2. I never thought in a single team market, like we've seen in San Antonio, in Portland, in Sacramento, in Utah, the NBA has excelled at that they always knew that their lone team would dominate to a degree, it would make it viable. And the Magic have dropped to number 3 right now. If you ask people, where would you rather go to an Orlando soccer game? They would prefer that into a quality UCF football matchup against Cincinnati or someone like that. They'd rather go to that also. They've screwed this up. But have they screwed this up because players simply won't stay here? That Shaq could say all he wanted about a poll in the newspaper said he wasn't worth the max and went to LA. He wanted to go to LA. Dwight Howard wanted to go to LA. They've got to find a way to keep their stars. And until they do that, every young player who comes through, if he meets his mandate, is going to wind up leaving anyway. They're at a real crossroads down here. They've tried to go for the name coaches. They brought in a Stan Van Gundy. They try to play it that way. Stan had the 1 year where they went to the finals and nothing since. So, yeah, I think this is very much a franchise on the decline. There is no more interstate rivalry. If I hear any BS from the Heat today, we want to beat our interstate rival. We want to win the state of Florida. Screw that. Win your division. Beat Atlanta. Beat real teams. Beat the Knicks, the stinking Knicks. That's what matters.
Yeah. And the Knicks weren't a rival either for many years because they've been
but because there was only
absolutely terrible.
Right, but there were so many New Yorkers there, and they still brought their fans. Matter of fact, tonight, when you watch, and you know this, you've seen enough, there probably will be more Heat fans at Amway Center tonight than Magic fans. And they will be loud, and they will get booed by the other fans. I'm not sure I've ever seen the thing called, the species called Orlando Magic fan at FTX Arena. It's not reciprocal. They don't come down. There's no state trophy. It's been the Heat by first-round knockout for decades.
And it's weird because to compare it, New Orleans is not a desirable place. And sorry for the people that live there that might be watching. It's not necessarily a desirable place for young people to live and hang out. I've been to New Orleans so much.
Right.
But Orlando's a good city, man. It's a vibrant city. It's got obviously all the amusement park stuff, but it also has a nightlife. It's not a bad town to live in, actually. So while, outside of Bourbon Street, there really isn't a lot of substance to New Orleans,
right.
But Orlando has a lot more to work with. So where is it in management and in ownership that they have completely screwed this up?
Well, I think, one, it's so close to Miami that players would still rather be in Miami and often do on their getaway days. That's where they wind up going. So they have the South Beach factor working against them, even though they're not here. And there have been plenty of missteps and plenty of poor draft choices that haven't panned out for them also. That's absolutely been the case. But there's been no stability. There's been so much change in the front office suite and in the coaching suite that they've simply never given themselves enough chance to make it right. I don't know if Jamal Mosley right now, their latest coach, most people don't even know he's their coach, is going to be the answer. So I think they're just spinning their wheels. They're just treading water. What they need to do is find a way to make a dynamic trade to bring in a star who is under contract there. Hell, you know what? I'm going to throw a crazy name at you. And not that he want to play there. But if you're bringing in Ben Simmons, at least you have a name to build around. Although I can imagine how miserable Ben Simmons would be in Orlando.
Yeah, no, you're right. But he would be the centerpiece.
Yes.
And maybe, although he may not want that kind of attention of being the man.
Well, you know what? Either man up and make your layups and your free throws, or else you are who we thought you are.
I'm with you there. All right. What are you working on right now? And in the Sun Sentinel, I would imagine you're trying to keep up with this whole COVID situation.
The whole thing. But you know what? Because I'm so sick of just writing science, because I'm not a scientist, I wrote about how the situation could impact the Heat from a cap and tax reason. Spoke to someone today who was with a meeting of assistant general managers. They told me it looks like the restriction on two-way players will be lifted, that it won't just be 50 games on the active roster. It'll be the whole season.
Yeah.
Caleb Martin. And the reason I was told was that, why would you force teams to bring in other players when you have someone available, but some stupid rules telling you can't play them? The last 2 years, the Heat have done that. They did it with Gabe Vincent, made him finals eligible 2 years ago. Last year, Vincent and Max Strus were allowed to play unlimited because of COVID. That's going to happen. Here's part B, though, and it's a problem. If the Heat get below 8 players, they might only have 9 tonight. They have to, by league rule, have 8 players available. They would have to sign a player to an emergency 10-day contract. The problem is that counts against the tax. If the Heat have to do that even twice, for all of this planning, it would put them over the tax to where they could have signed that 15th player or kept another player from camp after all. So it's kind of getting interesting. I think the league is going to try to find a way to ease that luxury tax burden. But can you imagine Andy Ellisberg the last 6 months has worked tirelessly to stay below the luxury tax, and then all of a sudden this blows the whole thing up? So there's going to be an administrative side of this as well as the testing side of that, and then we'll see.
Why not expand the taxi squad and let people add another player or two to have
And that's all part of it, but that's negotiated with the players union, so that's the political part of it, and you have to do that. But you know what? If
it's another job or two, the players union can't complain if they're going to open up another job or two.
They would complain, Big O, if it's unlimited days for two-way players, but on two-way salaries. They would say, hey, then you're abusing it. Then you're signing guys to two ways for lower. It's 50% of normal minimum pay, so you have to negotiate that also. So that's at sunsentinel.com. I'm going to write that. And as soon as we're done, which is just about now, I'm going to head over to Shoot Around, if there is one.
Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. He is Ira Winderman, and make sure you subscribe there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, as always, thank you, my friend. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll talk on Tuesday.
Talk to you on Tuesday. Hopefully there's still games. Thank you, Big O.
You got it. There you go. Thank you. That is Ira Winderman and our South Florida, our Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All righty. Appreciate you all out there as always. Thank you to Ira Winderman. There we go. Let me see. I'm texting and talking at the same time. So that's a challenge for me. What you got for me, Sean?
While that was going on, UCLA men's basketball team.
Okay.
COVID has hit them as well. Their game with North Carolina, UNC, in Vegas has been canceled.
Wow.
And will not be rescheduled. So more things happening throughout. So
no trip to Vegas for UCLA.
Or UNC, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm just saying. When they take away a trip to Vegas, that just hurts. Just hurts, man. I'm watching videos now just to get tips on different things to do in Vegas now, since I plan on taking this show and Sean, of course, to Vegas a couple times in 2022. So we shall see. Rosendo says, good morning, Big O Nation. May you be blessed, Big O and Mr. Stanley, in giving us the joy to listen to your show every day. And just remember, it's if you must have motivation, think of your paycheck on Friday. There you go. I like it. That is the motivation. Let's see. Ryan says, as a fan of the Heat, I'm fine with the suspension of games. Any time that passes only benefits Bam, Jimmy, and Depot, and our vets that have been overworked. That's a very good way of looking at it, Ryan. That if you postpone a game and you play it later, it's one more game that we'll have Jimmy and Bam for. I like your thinking, Ryan. I like your thinking, young man. That is a good one right there, man. That's a good one right there. I like it. Gary Lombardi says, Fins Friday, baby. 6 in a row is coming. I believe that too. I'm with you. Last night, Chiefs defeated the Chargers 34-28. Although I will say this, while Herbert has 8 victories and 8 losses this year, I'm not going to blame the kid yesterday for he made the throws they needed to win. They dropped a couple of touchdowns yesterday on him. You know what I mean? And obviously they didn't go for field goals and whatever, but it is what it is. But Chiefs, obviously, when he got the ball with, what was it, a minute and something left, and I think they had all their timeouts. I was like, oh, this is just too much. It reminded me of Marino getting the ball with 50 seconds, a minute and 10 seconds left, and you're at the 10-yard line, and you're like, 90 yards to go, Marino, when a minute, oh, come on, let's go. Bop, 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 touchdown. It used to happen all the time. And when Mahomes got that ball, you just said, all right, they're going to take it all the way, and they're going to win it. And Travis Kelce, my brother, wow, 10 receptions, 191 yards, 2 touchdowns, monster catch after monster catch. Hill gets injured right at the beginning of that overtime, and then it looks like it was a cramp, right? Because that's what it looked like she was working on, and then she got him straightened out, and then he was able to get back in there and obviously make some plays and help them win. On that final drive, Hill ended up with 12 receptions, 148 yards, and a touchdown. The Parham kid, I have not seen the latest on it. I know that he had a head injury and he was in stable condition. Hopefully everything's all right. I have I I can relate to him because Donald, when he fell and he hit his head, I was playing pickup basketball years ago, and we were at I think it's like a YMCA in South Miami, if I remember correctly. And I went up to block a shot, and the guy that was coming down the lane was a big guy. He was a little taller than I am. I'm 6'1", and I was about, I would say, somewhere in the 250 range at that time. And this guy was maybe 6'3", 260, 270. He was a bigger guy than I was. And so we kind of met up in the air, and when I fell backwards, I fell on my back and I hit my head on the concrete, on the back of my head on the concrete. I suffered a grade 2 concussion. And when I suffered the concussion, my arms numbed up, and I went like this. I kind of formed an oval circle in front of me for a second. It got numb, and it went like that, just automatically. They just came together like that. And then I kind of like shook it off, right? While I'm on the floor, and because I kind of felt that numbness, and I worked my way back up again to stand up. And I was still kind of dazed, and I was a little bit and so obviously they took me to the hospital. But even one of my best friends was like, dude, what happened to your arms? It's like, and so when I saw him shaking, I remembered what I went through with all of that. And I had no helmet, and I hit my head in the back of concrete. You know what I mean? So that was not a good thing. 2 weeks later, by the way, I was driving a 24-foot U-Haul with a 280ZX on a flatbed headed to San Francisco, suffering a grade 2 concussion 2 weeks later. So yeah, I don't even know if it was 2 weeks later. It might have been even less than that. But yeah, I remember that. So I could relate to him. And that happened to me back in 1987, I believe. 97, I'm sorry, 97. It happened to me. So, yeah, just scary stuff, man. I hope he's all right. And he's one of those guys that I follow in the league because, you just talked about Taylor Heineke. Um, he's another guy I follow. Why? He's an XFL guy. And so I followed the XFL, and so some of the guys that actually were able to get opportunities, and Parham is one, because Parham is a freak, dude. He's a big kid, man. He's like 6'6", an enormous receiver, can actually run and can catch the ball and all that good stuff. And unfortunately, you saw what happened to him there. So it's just one of those things. I hope everything's all right. I hope he's able to make it through, and he'll be fine, man. So let's prayers for Donald Parham, and hopefully he makes a full recovery. That was scary when they took off the face mask. That's when you see that, it's like, damn, dude. Okay, this is not good, And then you saw his arm shaking. But back on the football side, Herbert made all the throws he had to make yesterday. He played well yesterday. Played really well yesterday. Mahomes was fantastic as always, and he's been, not perfect, because we put him at a pedestal already, we have him at a standard already that's incredibly high, and he has to play at that standard in order for us to be satisfied with his kind of play. But still, when he needs to show up, he showed up. And man, the Chargers ran the hell out of the ball. Without Chris Jones there, that Chiefs team could not stop the run. The Chargers were without their left tackle too. And yet they were able to run the hell out of the ball against the Chiefs. That was huge yesterday. What was I got to look up the yardage for the kid, because he is actually, but Jackson actually played well too, backing him up. They had multiple players actually that played well, but they were able to run the ball and run it effectively against the Chiefs last night. They just tore the Chiefs up with the run game. That was huge. Those are things that I wish Tua had. Jackson was 13 of 80 for 86 yards. Eckler was 12 for 59. Kelly was 7 for 21. They ran 39 times for 192 yards, dude. So they averaged 5 yards a carry almost, and 2 touchdowns. Crazy. That was. I wish the Dolphins had that kind of a running game. Kansas City was 20 for 86, and really it was Mahomes 3 for 32, because Edwards-Helaire was 9 for 32. They couldn't run the ball. It was all about their passing. But the Chargers, man, are you kidding me? I mean, Herbert threw for 236 yards. They ran for 192. Think about that. They almost ran for as much as they were able to pass. That makes your quarterback's job so much easier. So much easier. All right, you know what? Let me have a little honey and lemon. Give me 30 seconds here on a reset on the Big O Radio Show.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
All right, we are back, coming to you live, baby, from Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Come on out, say hi, man. We're out here, 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. We'll be out here till at least 1 o'clock, so come on by. You got the real star here, which is Sean Stanley, not me. I'm just here for the ride. I just ride Sean's coattails. That's all I do every single day. Let's see. James Berry says, good morning, Big O. Still praying for your health, family, and continued strength. God bless you. Thank you, James. Bless you, my man. Appreciate you. Samuel Robina says Kelsey's going to be a first ballot guy. He's one of the few tight ends that can block and catch. Yeah, he'll make Omar happy. Omar, by the way, will join us at noon. We'll have Manny Navarro at 11:30 here on the program. Let's see what else. What happened to the great Justin Herbert? Could not capitalize last night, especially on 4th down. Now, Rosendo, don't be like that. Parham dropped a touchdown, and then the other guy dropped a touchdown on the right side of the end zone. He made the throws to win that game, and they could have gone for field goals too. So, no, he wasn't the issue last night. I would not, like a lot of times, I wouldn't blame Tua. I'm not going to blame, I'm going to be fair too, and I'm not going to blame Justin Herbert for last night. If you watch the game, they should have won the game if guys hung on to some of the. Now, I'll tell you, one of the ones that, another one that was dropped, he threw it too hard. He threw like a rifle at 95 miles an hour that one of the guys couldn't hang on to. And that was on him, but it was on target to throw. It was just, damn, it was so hard that he threw it. He has to learn to put a little more touch sometime. But again, he's young. He's not gonna be perfect. The kid's had a really good season overall. Yesterday, I would not blame Herbert at all for the loss. He did his job yesterday. Okay. Let's see. Good morning, Big O. Still praying for your health, family, and continued strength. God bless you. Pray that the first believe in Christ, the Messiah. Well, thank you, sir. Oh, did you finish Get Back? If so, has your understanding of any bad members changed? No, I have not. I only watched the first 2. I will finish it this weekend, Dougie Fresh. I pretty much did a lot of work during the week and sports. I watched a lot of sports throughout the week. I didn't watch any movies or any kind of real shows throughout the week. I'll watch, hopefully, the rest of Get Back this weekend. I'll be able to finish it out. Big O, as great as those quarterbacks are last night, both missed several short passes that Tua never misses. So in conclusion, no QB is perfect. You are correct, Richard. But somehow or another, we have a group of fans that treat Tua with they're incredibly unfair to the kid. That's all I can tell you. Since last year till now, I just think people don't look at Tua objectively at times and look at what he is playing with and how he has excelled. Big O, my friend Michael Blasco asked me if Herbert is better than Tua, how should I respond? You will say, let's wait a couple of years and we'll find out. Maybe both are really good. Maybe both are bad. Maybe one is good, one is mediocre. Maybe one is good, one is average. Why don't we wait a couple of years and actually see that we put them in difficult situations, in game-winning situations, and big moments where they have to lift teams and all that kind of stuff. Let's wait till they actually pass some real tests. That's what I've been trying to tell people about all of this. Okay, because we got people rushing to the point that Justin Herbert is a first ballot Hall of Famer already and an all pro quarterback and a top 5 in this league when he hasn't accomplished jack crap. So you putting up numbers is one thing, winning is another. So Kirk Cousins puts up a lot of numbers. He doesn't put up a lot of big wins. He doesn't go deep into the playoffs or anything like that. And he's had a running game and he's had a defense. Somehow or another, they're not getting deeper, right? So stats don't mean jack to me. I told you I measure quarterbacks in chaos, and I'm going to measure you when you can win in clutch situations against big games, big moments, big teams, those kind of things. Let's wait a couple of years, and we'll find out if Justin Herbert put in those situations excels or doesn't. If Tua excels or doesn't. We are in this microwave society that we want a decision right now when nobody is a finished product. So to be arguing about two unfinished products is absolutely asinine. So what you can tell your friend is, hey, dude, let's wait some time. Discussing this now is moronic because you have nothing to stand on. Nobody's going to the playoffs. Nobody's won anything in the playoffs. Nobody's gotten to the AFC Championship game. Nobody's elevated teams to this point that we're super impressed or anything like that. So when Herbert and Tua start doing those things, then we can compare them. When Burrow starts doing those things, then we can compare them. And I love Joe Burrow. I think he's terrific. Okay, but let's wait till they actually accomplish something. And then we can start to say, hey, this guy's accomplishing something, the other guy isn't. Herbert has better stats because he has better talent, bro. Keenan Allen is better than Miami's entire wide receiving core. That's the facts. Okay? Their running game is 100 times better than the Miami Dolphins. You can't, let's wait till they actually accomplish something. The discussion of who's better at this point is just ridiculous now when neither one has accomplished jack crap. Yes, sir. Brian Flores, Myles Gaskin, and Salvon Ahmed are back for the Miami Dolphins and available for practice today. What's up, bitch? Yeah. That means they passed their test yesterday and today. So they are ready for practice. So we get Ahmed back and we get Gaskin back. And you know what that means? Passes to the running backs. Passes to the running backs. Yeah. How about that? How about that? And don't forget, folks, as you can see right there, Sloman's Home Security is a proud sponsor of the Big O Radio Show. And right now, folks, the first 40 Big O listeners, if you dial 1-800-ALARM-ME, you will get a free doorbell camera. It connects to your smartphone with, of course, installation of your Sloman's Shield. And that's not all, man. Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation. I should know about that. When you see their low-cost central station monitoring, when you use their local cost central station monitoring, you get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 Big O listeners, call 1-800-ALARM-ME. You will receive a free doorbell alarm camera with the installation of Sloman Shield. Keep your family safe, folks. Do what I did in the Alzigari household. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. And, of course, tell them that Big O sent you Sloman's Shield. We have a link on our Twitter page. You use that link also, takes you directly to it and all that good stuff. But if you do call 1-800-ALARM-ME. Make sure you tell them that you heard it on the Big O Radio Show. They are in, I believe, about 14 different markets in the country. So call them. They might be in your market, and they might be able to protect your family. So use the Sloman's Shield. We love it. All right. 855-912-1056 is the text line. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the program, Yahoo email, Big O Radio Show. YouTube, of course, you can chime in there. Twitter, Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo if you want to make a donation. That's Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. If you want to make a donation, always appreciate it. Let's see. Richard McLean says, do Purple Rain has already come and gone? What cave were you stuck in? I don't know what that means for all ages. I don't know what conversation that is. Let's see. Big O, I was with ICU nurses last night. Bro, Ryan, you go ahead and shoot your dribble and all that. You don't know jack crap, Ryan. You always are just spewing garbage about you're an anti-vax guy. I got you, bro. I got you. You're an anti-vax guy. The COVID spike is all Tua's fault, Big O. That's true. We got to blame Tua for everything. Markets right now hurting. We got the stock market and all this other stuff hurting the crypto market, man. Crypto market is strong as hell, and it has to be all the stuff that's going on the other side that's kind of hurting it right now. Terrible, man. Terrible. Yeah. So you're vaccinated, but you act like you're an anti-vaxxer. So why are you vaccinated if you're such an anti-vaxxer? I don't get it. All he does is talk about being anti-vax guy, and then he says he's vaccinated. That's a trip. I mean, you got to stand by what you believe in, Ryan. I mean, if you're all against it, I don't know why you're vaxxed, bro. Go unvaxxed, man. Roll the dice like so many others are doing. Go ahead. The Herbert Tua talk is so played. Imagine if social media was around when Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning were drafted. My goodness. That's a little different story. That's a little different comparison. Ryan Leaf was an outright disaster. Tua's not a disaster. Tua's not screaming at reporters. He's not losing his cool. In fact, he was the only guy that handled all the BS better than everybody else. Better than Flo, better than the media, better than fans, better than his teammates probably. Nobody handled all this crap better than Tua. Tua rose above all of it. So that's the best. That's a terrible comparison. That's an insult. That's an insult to Tua. So Ryan Leaf was an outright disaster. In fact, Ryan Leaf is still a disaster to this day. And he's gotten 8,000 breaks. That guy still screws up, and they still put him on TV and radio to do all kinds of stuff. It's really amazing. Let's see. Lulu says, I just want Tua to ball out so all the haters will shove it. Too many comparing to Tua. They all know Tua's playing under pressure with no run game, no O-line, not playing well. Our coaches suck. Well, Lulu, some people that are smart understand that. Others don't. Others think that he should be putting up the same kind of numbers that others that have a much better situation, and they're doing better because they're putting up better stats, and they think that they should be, he should be putting up Justin Herbert stats. You know what I mean? But you're not a very smart football fan if you think you're supposed to get the same kind of production when you don't have the same kind of tools around you. But that's the problem, Lulu. We have people that are just absolutely, what's it called? Unrealistic about it all. Okay? Coach didn't choose the players. Our O-line is bottom of the league. What Tua is doing is magnificent. He's far more accurate than Herbert. He's more accurate than most every quarterback in the league, period. People may not want to admit that because he's a young guy, but his accuracy is sick. Okay? He may not be the fastest guy. He may not be the biggest guy. He may not have the biggest arm in the league. We all know that. But he can play this position and play it at an incredibly high level. And if you put the right people in front of him, he will be a star and he will lift your team. But if you don't put the right people around him, he's going to get killed the way Archie Manning got killed, the way, Steve Bartkowski had to struggle in Atlanta at times, and he was a monster. I've watched this, bro. I've watched Steve Young get killed in Tampa. And then you go to San Francisco and you've got a great coaching staff and a team, and you look fantastic. And that's just the way this game is played. It's actually the ultimate team game. In college basketball, you could get Danny Manning and Glenn Rice and others, and they'll carry you all the way to the Final Four and maybe even win it for you. That can happen in college basketball. In the NBA, you need maybe one or two guys, and you can have one hell of a season and maybe even possibly win a championship if you can find a third guy almost. But in the NFL, one guy's not going to carry you, bro. Walter Payton used to kill himself with the Chicago Bears. But until they actually until they got rid of Bob Avellini and Vince Evans and gave him Jim McMahon and gave him Buddy Ryan and Mike Ditka and one great defense and Willie Gault and all this other stuff, that's when Walter Payton won a title. And he wasn't even the featured guy. You see what I'm saying? So there are plenty of examples in the history of the NFL of great players that just never got it done because they weren't on great teams. But there's this misconception out there that Tua's supposed to lift everybody up when it's garbage. No, he'll make other people better as long as they're doing their job. But he can't make other people better if he's on his ass and running for his life. And he has to get rid of the ball in 2 seconds because he's going to get killed. This is the only quarterback in the league that gets pressured when he's handing off the ball. Okay? That's ridiculous. The man barely has enough time to hand off the ball. You want him to wait for a 40-yard play to develop downfield. I mean, it is king-size stupidity when I hear people say, well, they don't throw the ball deep enough. Well, moron, do you watch the damn game? Because you're an effing idiot if you don't watch the games. Don't say go deep when you can't go deep because you'll be dead. Okay? Tua wants to wait for a 40-yard play to develop. Let's just put the tombstone right there behind the center because that's where you're going to find him, buried. Here lies Tua, too stupid to wait for a deep ball. That's why he's now dead. So Tua learned his lesson. I'm not fracturing my ribs anymore. I'm not selling my body out anymore. I've already busted up my hip. I busted up ankles. I got to get rid of this football quickly. Why? Because I got 5 bums and an idiot coaching them. And those guys, I say 5 bums because that's how they're playing right now. I don't believe all 5 are bad. Well, Jesse Davis is a backup. Here, there, in any league, anywhere, any decade, Jesse Davis is a backup. He's never been a starter in his life. He has no business being a starter in his life. Only Brian Flores starts that guy. He's Andrew Gardner. So that's the problem we have, Lulu. We have way too many people that are unrealistic and don't know a damn thing about the game. Hour number 2 from Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines is next.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Lando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Offense to the heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, lollipop blow in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go, Andy, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
On the morning show, Big O, no one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk...
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live.
When you're ready to purchase a new home or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee, and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today. 786-802-1727 or online at adreamlending.com. When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
South Florida's premier law enforcement agency is now hiring individuals like you. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is now accepting applications for non-certified and certified police officer positions. Minimum requirements and qualifications can be found on flpdjobs.com. That's flpd Jobs.com. Are you ready? The city of Fort Lauderdale is an equal opportunity employer.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty, we are set. Hour number 2 on the program. Appreciate all of you out there, as always, for keeping it locked here on the show. Coming to you live from the beautiful dealership that is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Come on out here, man. 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. Come on by and say hi. We got Sean out here ready to go. He'll sign your autographs. He'll take pictures with you. Not that you ever want anything from me. Anthony Campos says, Big O, ever found the 5 TV setup man cave? Love to see that setup. How would you let the TVs ride the best game on audio and the rest on mute? Yes, I would. We had a big one in the middle, and then 425s around it is what I had. It was a nice setup. But I don't know. I know I have not found the picture. I didn't look for it. I gotta look for it. But yeah. What else do we have here? Michael from 4 says, which game of the next 3 are we most likely to lose, making the final Pats game insignificant? Well, let me ask you, what is it, Powerfoot here? Powerfoot, let me ask you, do you just live a life of negativity? Do you want to, are you going like, okay, will I crash today when I get in a car? Do you do that every morning? Is this the morning that I'm going to have an accident? Like, why are you wanting to figure out what game you're going to lose ahead? I mean, they've already beaten teams that they weren't supposed to beat during this streak, and now they got a chance at beating teams again that maybe they're not supposed to beat, like the Patriots. Were they supposed to beat the Patriots the first year under Flores in week 17? Can you help me with that one? Were they supposed to win that one? And did they win it? Yeah. So what's the deal? Nobody thought they were going to win the Baltimore game, and they kicked Baltimore's ass. And, oh, my God, the Panthers secondary is the number 1 pass defense in the NFL. They beat that, too. It's football, dude. I mean, this guy lives in a box for the Patriots. Mac Jones doesn't pass anything outside of the 20-yard box. Who says Miami can't win that game? Why can't Miami beat the Saints? Why can't Miami beat Ryan Tannehill? Get after his ass. They can't run the ball. Get after his ass, and you'll see. You'll force him into turnovers. I'm actually excited because I think they've got a great chance at winning all 4 games. Could they lose? Of course. It's football. You don't play well. You make mistakes. You turn over the ball. You got a bunch of COVID guys. Yeah, you can lose. I don't know what it is about certain fans. I guess you've been beaten down so much, and it's been such a bad stretch for a couple of decades that you have to pre-wire yourself to negativity on that sense. I listen, man, if it was a terrible football team, then I would go, yeah, they're probably going to lose a couple, whatever, and yeah. But this is a team that's not even supposed to be 6-7. They're only 6-7 because the head coach screwed up so much that he buried them. But that's not because they can't actually play well if they do the right things. And over the next 4 weeks, it's very realistic to win all 4 of them, even the one against New England. I don't know, I'm more excited about it. I'm going to take it week to week, but I'm not thinking that they're losing these games. They got a shot at winning all of them, man. I don't know why you would want to do that to yourself. Floby starting slow says I'm talking more about fandom. Both these kids are doing well. I don't know what the hell that is. I guess you guys got another conversation going on. Let's see what else. What up, Big O? Buying the dip, Star Atlas, Cardano, Miami for life. Damn right, Pipe Man Slim. I didn't get Cardano, but I did get a little more Star Atlas this morning. I just got it a little while ago. I got more V-Chain this morning also. I got a little more Bitcoin. It hit the 47 mark. So I tapped into a little Bitcoin. Nothing wrong with that. That's it. So yeah, I did a little bit of the dip too. Now it's weird, right? Because and it's not the crypto market, but I got to tell you, I'm happy that you're doing this dip. I'm good. See, I'm not. If you're looking at this to try to make money in the next week or two or a month, and you're just pumping and dumping guy or gal, I'm not speaking to you. Whenever I'm talking crypto, I'm talking to long-term holders or hodlers, and I'm talking to people that are investing in the long term. I'm not rich, man. I'm a working stiff. I'm a blue collar guy. I'm a hardworking guy. My money is it's special to me. Okay, it wasn't handed down by daddy. I didn't inherit it. I wasn't lucky enough to make millions in doing anything and have it stashed, and I can just loosey goosey. No, I work hard for my money, man. So if I invested, I'm putting thought into it and studying everything, and I'm thinking long term. So when I'm investing in Bitcoin or Ethereum or VeChain or Cardano, I'm not trying to get out in a month or two or 5 months. I'm looking to get out in a couple of years. I may take profits a little bit along the way because you always want to try to get back at least your initial investment to start off. If we're talking about meme coins, now we're talking pump and dump, and I already did that with SHIB. I got my investment, and I got tons of profits. And all I did was, you know what I did with all the profits? I put it all back into VeChain and Cardano and Polygon, and that's what I ended up doing. So I just reinvested all those profits from it, and I still have plenty of SHIB waiting. Now I'm just going to let it run until the Robinhood listing. That'll be the next one. But when I discuss crypto with you guys, when we just talked about Star Atlas, that game isn't going to be out for another year and a half. So 6 months from now, 9 months from now, a lot of people are going to be talking about Star Atlas and the metaverse and all this kind of stuff. We're already going to be on it. And we bought it at when it was, 9 cents, 10 cents, 12 cents, 14 cents, 15 cents. And it's going to end up being at $1 or something, or even more down the line. But that's down the line. So you got to patiently wait now. Cardano it's going to take a while. It's going to grow, and you're going to watch it grow, but it's going to grow into several dollars that I will wait. Polygon now is deflationary. Polygon is burning with transactions now. So it's doing the same thing Ethereum is doing. And so now that's going to grow the Polygon network in value. And Polygon is cutting deals left and right. I'm not looking to get out of Polygon just because I'm up 10% or 20%. I'm waiting till I'm up 15, 30x. And then is when I'm looking to take a nice chunk out. And that's down the line. Ethereum and Bitcoin, I'm never taking out. If everything goes well, as I've told you many times, I'll never even touch my Bitcoin. It'll be just handed off to my daughter. That's it. I hope I never touch that Bitcoin ever in my life. It's just there to grow and stake and grow and stake. And Ethereum, the same thing. Ethereum is such a freaking powerhouse that I'm going to hang on to it for years. So when I talk crypto, I don't talk about any pump and dumps. The closest thing I've talked to that is SHIB. And only because those are meme coins, although that meme coin has technology behind it. So that's why I invest in it. I normally don't invest in Doge, which is garbage, and, Floki and all those other ones that are out there. I'm not into the meme coins. That's all hot air and gas, and that's just a balloon that's going to burst and going to screw a lot of people over. I'd rather invest in things that are technology driven, that are world changing, that are things that we are going to use on an everyday basis. And that's what I invest in. So I'm not looking to get in and get out. I'm looking to stay in and keep it going. Just like you would with Amazon and Tesla and, any of those kind of stocks that you don't get rid of those stocks. You could take some profits out, but you're not if you're smart, you're looking to continue watching that grow and maybe pass it on to your loved one. You know what I mean? That's the same way I look at it. If I'm investing in a company, I'm investing in one for a long-term basis. So understand that when I'm talking crypto, I talk long-term every time. Let's see. Axie Infinity. Are you talking about Axie Infinity? Yes, I like it, Alejandro. I don't have any, but they are good. Big O, you got me into crypto. I bought the dip as well. I plan on holding long term. There you go. Make sure you stake. Don't if you're holding long term, stake. Okay, stake, because that way you're getting. I got my Polkadot and I have it staked, and I'm earning 15%, 14%, 12.5%. Those are all the different rates I'm getting for my Polkadot. So I'm earning a lot of interest without even the coin, and hasn't moved lately. That's why I've been kind of reinvesting in the Polkadot, because it's really low now. If you're getting Polkadot somewhere in the 25 area, and listen, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for information purposes. You have to do your own homework for your own investments. But Polkadot now just awarded the first 5 parachains, and that is going to exponentially grow their transactions and that blockchain and the ecosystem now. And I believe that this is going to have Polkadot eventually will have a Solana like run. And it's just a matter of patience and waiting. That's just my prediction. I could be completely wrong. You know what I mean? I told you Polygon would start making a move. And even with all this stuff going on, the strongest coin that's been going on lately has been Polygon. Notice, out of the blockchain ones. Solana also now, and Avalanche has really exploded. God, Avalanche is good. And so, but Polkadot, I think, is one of those that is ready to take off and get over $100 to $200, maybe even more. And it's at 25 right now. So for me, I am been heavily invested in Polkadot now, because I just have that feeling that as the parachains grow and that ecosystem explodes, I think the Polkadot blockchain is just going to be magnificent. So again, but long term, that's kind of the way I look at things. If not, I don't invest in it. Let's see, what else do we have here? Sammy Sosa says, "You're the goat, Big O." No, you sir are the goat. You sir are the goat. Sammy's the goat. Dye that skin. Let's see. Put your left in, take your left foot out, and you shake it, and that's how you do the polka dot. There you go. Nice. Kevin Lee says, Big O 7-7 coming in 2 days. The 5, 6, 7 seeds all have 6 losses, and we're on their tail. We are coming. Let's go. You don't throw a good woman away. You don't throw good crypto away. Giovanni, I like that. That's a good one. Oh, I just read Omar's article about the Tua hate. Can you offer your perspective on this? Is it real or imagined? It's real. There's no doubt it's real. I truly believe it's real. It's not like a hate that is driven by that they dislike the human being, but I think it's driven by a twisted perception, and it's driven by a lack of knowledge. Like when anybody tells you, well, they don't throw deep. Well, they're not really paying attention to the game. Right? Because logic tells you if you watch the game, he's on his ass all the time, running for his life. How do you want him to wait for a long play to develop? Did you watch Herbert? Did you watch Mahomes at times yesterday? They had time for things to develop. You know, that didn't happen. And, I mean, Herbert has 200 yards rushing. That keeps your defense a little honest. Miami will never threaten you with that. So defenses are never scared of giving up a big run because they don't run. They can't run. So that's where the misconception, misunderstanding, misinformation, misdirection all comes from. It's not really a lack of hate. It's really a lack of knowledge. That's all it is. It's either that or you just want to be ignorant to the situation. Because if you see the kids getting, smoked all the time, the defenders are on his ass. He's got to get rid of it, all that stuff. You saw him already break his ribs. Then you just want to be ignorant about it. Facts are people that are dying in hospitals from COVID, 99% of them are unvaxxed. Those are the facts. You got a bunch of people that don't want to believe that. Like Ryan, which, it's like impossible to read his dribble anymore because, you got that. But that's the kind of stuff. So you have that level of human being in this world that is going to believe whatever they want, even though the facts tell them completely different. That's all. You got people walking around thinking that the election was rigged. All the proof is there that it wasn't, but you'll believe whatever you want to believe. That's all. It's just a lack of facts, a lack of, understanding. That's it. You don't know the game. That's why you say, oh, they should be throwing deep. You don't know the game. So any of you that still say that, you don't know the game. You don't watch it. You don't really pay attention. You don't understand it. And if you don't want to understand it, then you're just ignorant. Let's see. We got people who think 2016 election was rigged too. Well, whatever. Either 16, 20, you're all idiots. I don't care. None of them were rigged. They were all elected the way they are. We elect bad presidents all the time. I don't know what you people are so, hooked on. What's the difference, dude? It's like we're constantly stupid. I mean, the Democrats and the Republicans give us a terrible candidate every time. So both sides are idiots because they come up with bad candidates in the first place. And then both sides are going to complain about one rigged or the other? No. Just America's full of idiots. That's all. Nothing else. There's no more excuses. Just admit it. You know what I mean? You're both an embarrassment. That's all. Floby starting slow says, and thank you for the love in the super chat. Did you notice all the short and intermediate passes last night? When any QB not named Tua does it, they call it taking what the defense gives you. Which, by the way, Brady made a living of that. All the time. David says, what's up, Big O? Just wanted to give you a shout out. because I was up till 2 a.m. getting articles ready for deadline today, and listening to the playback from yesterday's show helped me keep me awake. Well, thank you, David. It's very nice of you. Big O, Kevin says, it's jumping the gun, but once we win the next 4 games, we'd be facing Tennessee or New England, 2 teams in which we would have already beaten. So I definitely see us making a historic run. That would be awesome. It would be really fun. That'd be really cool if they can do that. Be a great accomplishment. Crazy ass accomplishment, because to come back from 1-7, you're really not supposed to. Nobody ever does in this league, but stranger things have happened. So you can't say it's impossible. I mean, they've won 5 in a row. They got a good shot this week at winning 6. By the way, the news of getting Gaskin and Ahmed back, God, that makes me so happy. I wish we would have gotten Lindsey back because, well, maybe Lindsey tested negative today, and he can test negative tomorrow, and then maybe they add Lindsey because I like his blocking, So that's the one thing. Let's see. Carlos says, hey, Herbert enthusiast, what happened on that 4th and 1? He had lots of chances to win it, and he did not do it. Carlos, he made throws to win that game, bro, throughout. See, here's where we gotta kind of draw the line in the sand. We can't be unfair to Herbert, and we can't be unfair to Tua. And we've got to be fair to both guys, okay? Herbert had everything he needed to win yesterday, but he also made all the throws he needed, right? Parham dropped one in the end zone. He threw another one, then another guy dropped, and then they dropped one on the right side. So he threw a couple of scores that they didn't capture, but he put the ball where it was supposed to be for the touchdowns. And then obviously the running back fumbling on the inside the 5, that's not Herbert's fault. So they got you down there. He did everything he was supposed to do to win. It's not his fault. Just like I don't blame Tua for a lot of the crap that goes on with the Dolphins, I'm going to do the same thing for Herbert, man. Because I'm not here to hate on Herbert either, okay? As I've tried to put the brakes on the Herbert love, I've said, hey, let's wait till he's in the big moments, the big games, and then if he does that, then we know that he's the real deal. Because I've seen plenty of guys that look the part, that can throw the ball, that can put up stats, but they don't win anything. But yesterday, if you watched the game, Justin Herbert did everything he was supposed to do to win the game. They didn't lose because of Justin Herbert. Okay? Justin, it's not his fault they lost yesterday. We have to be objective about it all. Objective about the crap that's around Tua, objective about how Herbert has way better structure than Tua, and so does Mac Jones. So it helps them excel a little better. Doesn't mean they're better than Tua, because if both of them were in Tua's situation, they may not do as better. They may do better than what Tua's doing right now. They might be looking more like, you know who? Trevor Lawrence. And again, I'm not being unfair to Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is playing for a coach that doesn't know how to coach at this level. Didn't know how to put together a staff and get it prepared, and that's why they were a disaster week in and week out. And having said all that, as wacky as football is, Miami lost to these clowns. But Trevor Lawrence is a hell of a player. I don't care what anybody tells me, but you got to give the man structure. Trevor Lawrence is not going to just walk in and lift your entire franchise. No, dude. If you don't have the right coaches around him, if you don't have the right head coach, if you don't have the right, atmosphere around him, then he's going to fail too. As we talked about before with Steve Young in Tampa and Steve Young in San Francisco. AH360. Thank you for the love on the super chat. Oh, is there an answer for the NCAA players opting out of championship games? A number 3 team without stars isn't a number 3 team anymore and should drop ranking. No. I get what you're saying, but this is the world we're in, man. And they have to take care of themselves. And if they don't have a shot at a national title and they don't benefit from playing that game and all they do is put themselves at risk, It is what it is. Look, man, coaches have been looking out for themselves. Administrators and universities have been stealing money for decades at the blood, sweat, and tears of these players. Okay? So now that players have more power with NIL and they have decisions like this, I got to tell you, man, I don't have a problem with it. I understand. Look out for yourself, man. Look out for yourself. These corporations are only going to look out for themselves, right? So screw that. I have no problem with it. It is what it is. You created this environment. You know, it's the airplane scene. Point, counterpoint. Shayna, they bought their tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I say, let them crash. That's it. All right, let's switch gears. Let's take a quick break. Manny Navarro joins us on the other side to talk a little Canes with our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All righty, welcome back. And it is time now to talk a little Canes with the man, the myth, the legend that is Manny Navarro from The Athletic and our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Doing good. Oh, how are you?
Very good, very good. All right, so what is the latest on the recruiting front? What news do we have? Anything brewing?
Well, I mean, Miami's waiting to hear on a couple of high school kids to make announcements today, and they've got some transfers they're trying to add here to the roster. So, Marcus Banks is a cornerback out of Alabama, a guy who Miami has been on for a while. There's the defensive tackle out of Oregon. He's like 6'7", 320 pounds, played for Mario out there. I think his name's Jason Jones, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have Jaleel Skinner, who could be making or who will be announcing his decision. He's a 4-star tight end, one of the best tight ends in the country, who played at Bradenton IMG Academy. He'll be announcing at 1:30. And, I mean, there's a bunch of different kids that they're in on, and they're hoping to add to the class here in the next the next day. This is the last day of the early signing period.
All right. So, and when we talk about, okay, so early signing period, so walk people through all of this. This
Hmm.
is like the first part of it. So, a lot of kids are going to wait. And what are they waiting for on the second wave?
Well, I mean, essentially, the 3 day early signing period began Wednesday, right? And then what happens is, a lot of kids who maybe didn't get a chance to take official trips to Miami or are in the transfer portal now. At the end of the transfer portal, at the end of their seasons, they want to come and be recruited, right? So you have up until I think even first week of January, the trips start again. Is when kids can start taking official visits again to campuses. And Mario Cristobal talked about that the other day, that they could potentially add somebody the first week of spring ball or the first week of the spring semester, which is like I think the second or third week of January. So the point is there's a whole lot of time now starting in January where kids are going to start visiting campuses again, and Miami's going to be in the mix to add guys the first Wednesday in February.
All right. Well, exactly. So, that's where we got to kind of pump the brakes, right? So, in a way, did we get too crazy about this first wave when really Mario has plenty of time to kind of make up for it with that second wave?
I mean, he didn't even get a job till the week before, right? I mean, he
Right.
had eight days to work with. So, I mean, I don't know how you can expect him to work miracles. I mean, in the end, they lost the two kids that were lowest ranked in their class, a receiver, which there's an abundance of receivers. They could get one from here in South Florida if they needed to. And then the other one was an offensive tackle out of Georgia who signed with. I mean, look, they both signed with SEC schools. But in the end, it's not like you're hurting at the receiver position. It's not like you're hurting. I mean, the offensive line for next year, you had three guys you brought in last year that are waiting to start playing. So you have enough depth to survive. It's just going forward. It's for the next few classes. So he's going to be diving in, trying to get guys for the offensive line and defensive line. That's what they feel like they need for the future classes. So I think for now, I mean, look, you had 45 first and second year players, Big O, that signed the last 2 years. Guys that have plenty of eligibility left that are going to be the crux of this team for the next 2 years. So really what this is about is preparing yourself for 2023 and 2024 and getting ready for those years, because next year you'll be fine with what you have roster-wise.
Right. And plus, you'll have the transfer portal to
Right.
kind of add because those kids in the transfer portal, they're going to see you lack this position, that position for this season. And this is an opportunity for me to come in and showcase my skills. So, whatever holes Mario has, he's going to, dude, what'd you tell me the other day? There was like 1,100 kids in that. No, or I think it was yesterday that it was Ivans that told me there's like 1,100 kids or something
Yeah.
stupid like that in the portal.
Yeah. No, there's a bunch of kids in there, and it's not like you're hurting. I mean, if you really needed positional depth, you could get guys that you could bring in.
Right.
And all this does, to be honest with you, is this gives Mario more time to study the roster, to get to meet kids, to see their mentality, to figure out, hey, do we really need to get somebody for this position, or will this kid suffice for this year? Again, I think Miami's front line, their starters at a lot of positions, they're set. They have quality players at a lot of their starting spots.
Yeah.
The issue is depth and injuries, and where do you really need somebody to add? And there's a lot of freshmen didn't get an opportunity to play a whole lot. I mean, this the freshman whose dad played at Miami, the linebacker whose name's escaping me now. I think his last name's Smith. He was great at the end of the year, and you're like, man, where was this kid all year?
Right.
He's going to be one of their better linebackers. You're getting Wesley Basaint out of Miami Central, who's a kid you can plug and play right away, get him snaps at the linebacker position. So, it's not like Mario took over a dire situation. The problem at Miami was they were underachieving. They were losing the teams they shouldn't have lost to.
Right.
They shouldn't be giving up 4 than 14 to FSU, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. Mario's here to fix that. And to add to the what Manny Diaz had put together, which was 2 pretty good recruiting classes back to back. This year wasn't loaded because why? A, because Manny wasn't taking a lot of guys. They weren't taking a lot of bodies to begin with. And B, they were trying to wait to see what would pop in the transfer portal too. So,
they've been really successful in the transfer portal. So
right.
I wouldn't blame Manny for trying to say, okay, I can cut a corner here or there by going to the transfer portal and pick up a kid that already has some experience. All I have to do is now coach him up in our system and make them better, like they have already with several guys. I mean, Roche came in golden that year when you ended up losing Rousseau because he opted out.
Yeah, and Phillips played great. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
Phillips, great. Yeah,
Tyreek Stevenson played great. Rambo played great this year. I mean, you
yeah.
had guys. I mean, the DeAndre Johnson kid was serviceable. I mean, he did his job. He was part of his second in sacks on the team, part of the rotation. I mean, what they need more than anything when I look at it is, they need a bona fide linebacker that could develop. Okay, you could have that kid develop this year already as a first year. It could be the Corey Flagg kid. He may take a huge step up this year. It could be Keontra Smith. It could be the Wesley Bassett kid who comes in and right away makes an impact. It could be the Smith kid who I mentioned earlier, 41. Those kids, to me, you have talent to work with at that position. You'd love to add an experienced, you'd love to add like a Tyreek Stevenson at your linebacker position, somebody who has that kind of experience, somebody who you know is going to come in and be effective. But again, it's not dire. I think more than anything, add a pass rusher. That's number one. Bring in one more offensive lineman in case Zion Nelson leaves for the NFL draft, and you're probably good roster wise. To be honest with you, I don't think they're that far away from filling all their needs.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen, you know me, man. I don't get too excited about, recruits until
Right.
I actually see them on the field and performing. That's when I start to get excited about players. But I know that we have, our group of people out there that get excited about anything that's a 4 or 5 star. They've never even seen the kid. They don't know him, but they're already going to label him like the next coming, as
Right.
they say. All right, on the coaching front, what are you hearing, my brother? Any new developments since we talked to you on Tuesday on the O and DCs?
Yeah, I mean, just rumors. People keep throwing out, Ken Dorsey, right? Ken Dorsey's going to come back. They're going to bring him in. To me, it's like another Joe Brady situation.
Is he a recruiter? Right, that's what I was going to ask.
Is he going to recruit, or does he like calling plays in the NFL? And I've said this on your show. When I talked to Ken Dorsey last year, what did he tell me? I love coaching in the NFL. Some guys just want to coach in the NFL. They don't want to deal with kids, man. They don't want to.
But remember, we got these blind ass fans that they live on this. We live in the past, and so we keep thinking that if we just grab somebody from the past, that'll fix everything. But
Right.
we don't ask the person if they're interested. We don't know if the person's really qualified, like Alonzo Highsmith or Gino Torretta as ADs. Like, yeah, they've never done that. You do know that, right? And so here's the other thing about Ken Dorsey. I love Ken Dorsey. I know he's got a great mind. I know he was one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. But I've also watched Ken Dorsey. I don't know if he's got the kind of personality that's going to walk in and win mama or daddy over on recruiting visits too. So I don't even know if he can recruit. You know what I mean? I know he can coach, but I think people don't really understand that in college, you kind of need to have a little bit of both. And you got to have a little personality so you can go out there and sell yourself and sell the program.
And one aspect to this all that people don't think enough about is, there's a lot of coaches who pour their heart and soul into recruiting kids. And when they don't get them, the devastation, the rejection that they feel, a lot of those guys, that's why they want to go coach in the pros. They don't want to deal with kids, hey,
Right.
I'm going to enter the transfer portal. Hey, I'm not happy about coaches don't want to deal with that. They'd rather get the NFL money, be one of the 80 guys on an NFL staff, right? And collect a paycheck than to deal with the aggravation of dealing with kids. And I'm not saying Ken Dorsey's that way, but I just think fans need to realize that the coaching pool in college, I think, is going to get smaller and smaller because of NIL, because of the transfer portal, because these guys invest all this time and energy to get these players only to have them leave or to ditch them at the last. I mean,
they're stinking brats and they just want to leave. And you're like, you know what? I'd rather deal with a grown ass man that understands, dude, you signed a contract. Here you go. Play or get the hell out of here. And that's it. We'll move on. We'll get the next guy. And having to cater to a whiny little 19-year-old and you're a 45, 55, 60-year-old man. Yeah, dude, that's kind of degrading, actually.
It is. And I think we're going to see, the talent pool of coaches decrease in college football for that reason. Look, there's always going to be guys who are going to take the money, right? Who are going to take the $95 million. There's going to be a Mel Tucker around somewhere to collect a $95 million paycheck.
That's why the key word you said was talent pool. There'll
Right.
be a pool, but it's going to be a dirty ass pool that you find somewhere in a broken down neighborhood because they didn't fix the pool and it's got that green water. Yeah, that's the pool you're going to have of your coaches in college. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, that's why this whole thing with Mario and all the coaches. I mean, look, I've heard. I can share the rumors with you. I can't verify any of them, but I've heard that the defensive line coach from Oregon, who we thought was only going to stay on the West Coast, would never come over here. Somebody's mentioned to me, well, he's going to be the defensive line coach. Then somebody tells me, oh, the wide receivers coach that he has at Oregon, he's coming with him too. And then now it's, well, maybe he's not coming. I'll just tell people this, Big O. When it comes to all this stuff, just trust the fact that Miami spent a boatload of money on Mario Cristobal and they promised him money for assistance. He's going to have a good staff. Like, we could sit here and just talk about names all day and speculate and who's like, to me, one way or the other, this guy at a certain point, once the bowl games are over and these coaches who are at other top schools that are playing in important games are done, I think after that we'll get some answers.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think he's already got his own answers. It's
Right.
just nobody's talking, and the men that have that job, they're not going to say anything, and they're going to do their jobs where they're at right now, finish, be professionals, and then when everything is done and you've completed your responsibilities, then you will then take care of business, and that's why you're not hearing any names. That tells me that things are pretty situated. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
I think it would be more chaotic if you would hear about Mario running around the country trying to find coaches. The fact that you're not hearing anything tells me that everything's already being done behind the scenes, and it's exactly what you said. Once the bowl games are over and everybody's, committed their responsibilities, then now they can move on and be professionals and tell their current employers, hey, I'm leaving, I'm moving on, I'm going here. And then Miami will be able to announce it. Because for me, that's what I've been thinking. The fact that it's so quiet, that tells me that Mario's got this under control mostly.
Yeah, to me, he's got to have some sort of verbal agreements in place with guys who have told him, hey, I'll come and talk to you as soon as the bowl game's over. We'll talk money, this and that, and we'll finish this thing quickly. I mean, that's the way these things usually work. And the other thing I'll say is,
as we say in Spanish, ten cuidado that he didn't have those agreements before he even agreed to be the coach at Miami.
Right.
Ten cuidado.
Right. I mean, listen, these guys, they're well connected, and they all, and people don't understand. Oh, like, I know people are like, oh man, these coaches don't like each other. These guys, this is like a fraternity for these guys. You go to those coaching conventions, and they're all buddies. They're all friends because they need to be friends, because one day that guy might need to hire me because I'm out of a job. So,
this is why I've repeated this over the years, Manny, and I try to educate people out there. When they say a coach, oh, that guy's got fired. Oh, that guy got fired, and he got hired, and he got hired, and he got hired, and he got hired. And then they think, oh, that guy's a bad coach. No, you idiot. That guy's a really good coach. If he's gotten 7 different jobs on 7 different teams or programs, it's because he has a good resume. It's not his fault that whatever happened where he was at, but he moved on and he was a linebackers coach for this guy and that guy and this guy. That's a good coach. And along the way, you build a Rolodex because you get to know other head coaches, other systems, other assistant coaches. And that's been the problem for the Dolphins. Joe Philbin and now the current guy in Brian Flores, both were stuck either in Green Bay or New England their entire careers. The fact that they didn't get fired and hired 87 times like a lot of other coaches and bounced around the league, it actually hurt them. They have no Rolodex. That's why they both have struggled to build staffs, because they don't know enough people around the league. And it's what you're talking about. When you go to these conventions and they're all around, it's because half of them have worked with each other already. And the other half are waiting to work with the other half anyways eventually, because you're only hired to be fired in those kind of businesses. So it is actually a great thing for the coach that worked at Utah and North Carolina and Miami and Texas. That's the guy you want. He's been recruiting all over the country. He knows coaches all over the country. He knows systems all over the country. He is more well-versed than the guy that is stuck in one system and one coaching staff his entire career and then has to leave. Oh my God. It's like the kid that leaves home and goes to college for the first time and he doesn't know anything. It's exactly that.
And let's not forget here what you have in Mario Cristobal, somebody who worked with Nick Saban for 4 years, who knows all of the great coaches in college football who came to Nick Saban asking for a job.
Exactly.
Right? Asking, hey, can I be an analyst on your staff? Hey, I'm out of a job this year. Can I?
Yep.
So that's why I'm not in the least bit worried. Mario A has money, which is the most important factor, right? He's been promised.
Yeah, amen.
And B, he's well connected. So if I'm a Miami fan, yes, the talent pool is smaller. You should know that. The talent pool for coaches is going to be smaller. Guys don't want to coach in college, and if they do, it's because they really love it. And B, he's going to get somebody good. Like, I'm not in the least bit worried. There's going to be improvements to the staff. And I would say for everybody, well, what about this position? Don't forget that every coordinator has their own group of guys that they want to bring with them. So that's why none of these positions have been filled yet in terms of publicly.
That's why I'm telling you. I'm telling you, that's why it's so quiet. It's deadly. Right. I love it. I love it. He's like the cobra, just working his way, and that's what he's going to do. And you're going to watch that. It's going to be one fell swoop. After everything is done, you're going to hear offense, defense, and he's going to have it all planned out because he's an organized guy, man. He was around Saban, and don't you think that he's developed a relationship? He didn't leave like UM got all bitter because he left for a better job, which UM obviously was in the wrong on that. You should never, ever wish anybody bad when they're actually trying to improve themselves. You should encourage it and support it. And that's what UM should have done at that time. Don't you think Saban's a guy that he can actually use as a reference and call and
Saban might even tell him, hey,
exactly,
take this analyst off my staff. He'd be a great coordinator for you. You know?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And Mario's that guy. He's a relationship guy. He's organized. He's one of those guys that people are going to want to work for. And plus, you mentioned it. He's got the money and the power now here at the U, which is something nobody ever had. So now, if you have that breeding ground of talent, and now you're giving all the resources finally, oh my God, that's it, dude. The rubber's met the road. It's over now. Now the U has everything it actually really needs in order to succeed in modern college football. And all those assistant coaches, they're going to know that.
And by the way, I mean, not every school hires coaches right away. Like, it doesn't happen instantaneously where the head coach comes in and he's got a staff. And sometimes it takes 5-6 weeks to get everything squared away.
Yeah.
In the end, as long as he's got a full staff in April, in March, when everybody's there ready to coach, you're fine.
I'm with you there. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. More importantly, subscribe to The Athletic and support him and the great writers who do a great job of covering locally, nationally, and internationally with a little football there. Manny, as always, my brother, thank you. We will check in on Tuesday with the latest developments with the Canes. I appreciate you.
No problem, brother. I'll be at the high school football state championships up here at the soccer stadium watching the two, Miami Central and St. Thomas Aquinas, and that linebacker, Wesley Besaint, who I told you about. So
should be fun. Be fun. Enjoy yourself, my brother. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care. See you.
You got it. There he is, Manny Navarro, man. Good stuff. Our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All righty, we are back. All right, so we got some Inter Miami news. Who did they sign?
They signed Mo Adams. He played with Atlanta United.
And they also signed Ariel Lassiter, by the way.
I did not see that one. I'm sorry.
He is the son of Roy Lassiter, Fusion star. I covered, and obviously I was a stadium announcer back in the day with Roy Lassiter. Bibe was the midfielder that would set up Roy. Well, they both also were together with the Tampa Bay Mutiny also. And they acquired him from the Houston Dynamo for $100K in general allocation money, $50K in 2022 and $50K in 2023. He's been a pro since 2014. And so now they added another guy from Atlanta.
They like are they called legacy players in
Yeah,
in
that is
football? Is that a
yeah.
now they got Beckham? They've got I guess
there's several, but we've got, at least for us, there's a Fusion legacy player. We have a Fusion legacy GM in Chris Henderson.
There you go.
And we have now a Fusion legacy player.
You talk about those ties. Look how
in Ariel Lassiter, right? Exactly. And I see what Henderson's doing. He's trying to find young guys because they don't have the kind of money to go out. So they've got to try to find some young guys that can actually develop. And hopefully they'll be able to do it, man. So we'll see. But I wish the best for Inter Miami. It was just tough, man. They made so many bad decisions early on. One thing is, I know Jorge Mas will figure it out, man. He's a good dude. He means well. He cares about this community. He wants to represent this community the right way. It's just, unfortunately, it's been an absolute disaster. They made a whole bunch of terrible decisions, and now they have to pay the price, and they have to deal with it for the next couple of seasons. I will tell you this. It will be a lot easier of a transition for them if they can get rid of a couple of their DPs. And then I know Jorge will spend money and he'll go find like some studs because Chris Henderson will lead the way, and then they'll be fine. They do have a really good GM now. I think they have a GM that can really take them places. But this is going to be a process now. Now this is going to be much slower than what we were expecting from the beginning. They ruined their opportunity to start strong. So it's going to take a couple of years to really get this thing back on track, unfortunately, to be one of the elite in the MLS, which is what we want. All right, so you got the COVID list?
Yeah, what time's Omar coming on?
Noon.
Okay, I might be finished by then.
Okay. Wow. So the COVID list?
This was
for the Browns.
Yeah, Cleveland's COVID list sent out 30 minutes ago. I don't know where they're at on the COVID protocol. Some of them may be able to come back like Ahmed and Gaskin did today for us.
And by the way, somebody put on the thing, Waddle's not coming back this week. He just tested. There's a certain amount of days you have to sit out before, so he will not be able to clear this week. Lindsey's the one we have a shot. Waddle's for next week. Remember, all these guys tested positive last week. Ahmed, Lindsey, Gaskins, it was all last week when they tested. So they had over a week, 10 days. And so Waddle will not be able to do it till the next game. Go ahead.
All right, Cleveland's COVID list. Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper, Wyatt Teller, Jedrick Wills, Tack McKinley, Malik McDowell, Anthony Walker Jr., John Johnson III, Troy Hill, do not know how to pronounce his name, Ifeadi Odingbo.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Go
Jamie Guyland, Ronnie Harrison, Case Keenum, Grant Delpit, A.J. Green, Jacob Phillips, Mac Wilson, Tony Fields.
Wow. Damn, dude.
Are they got a bye week? Are they supposed to play this week?
Oh, they're playing this week. Whatever's left of them.
And again, that was out 30 minutes ago.
Johnny Slate goes, at least Jorge Mas isn't stinking Loria. Now, Jorge Mas is a good dude, bro. It's just, hey, man, any of us that start a new business, you're going to make mistakes, right? And he's never owned a soccer team. And so, unfortunately, they've made a shit ton of mistakes, and now they've got to wait and overcome them, and eventually they will. The beauty is that you've got an owner that's not going to tolerate it for a long time, so he's going to do whatever he can to try to get the hell out of it.
Now, with Moss, because, again, you know soccer a lot more, the way they went about doing it opposite of who was the other team came with? Nashville?
Nashville, yes.
Nashville went
Completely.
young, and then they went for
But Nashville also had their own team already in the USL.
That's true.
With the
they
same
were like
coach.
Cincinnati and everything else.
And Orlando also. So they already had a structure in place.
Yeah.
They already had a culture in place. They just had to elevate. They had to go get different players. Yeah. They used a few of them from their USL team, very few. And then they had the same coach and system and all of that. So it allowed them to kind of continue and flow a little better. But Miami just made piss poor decisions.
No, they
bro.
did. It felt like they were trying to throw money to get the big signings that.
Yeah, they tried and they failed in some of them. So what they settled for, they shouldn't have settled for.
Gotcha.
They should have not bought those DPs and should have left it open. Matuidi has no business being a DP, bro. Get the guys that can score the goals, bro. You don't get a defender unless you drafted a couple of, like if Robbie was an absolute steal and a monster, then I can see why you get a defensive midfielder as one of your DPs. But Robbie's not that either. And so, it just, there's
Do you think they thought Robbie was that when they drafted him?
I think so, yeah. And that's another screw up that they passed up on Daryl DK twice.
Yeah, no.
They had the first and third picks, and Orlando had the fifth pick, and they picked a monster at number 5 that fell to number 5, and they so far at 1 and 3 have not obviously panned out.
Who was their 3 pick? Who was number 3?
I forgot the name of the kid now. But yeah, it hasn't been a good one. It's been bad. Big O, did you see Herbert's stats last night? Without the one big bomb in the game, his stats looked like Tua's game minus the incompletions. No, I know. But he had 200-yard rusher, too, which obviously helps out a lot. Again, guys, if you're looking for me to slam Herbert, I'm not here to slam Herbert. I slam the people that make Herbert sound like he is the second coming and he is God when he is not. But the kid has played really well, and yesterday played more than well enough to win the game. They did not lose because of Justin Herbert at all. Okay? Justin Herbert did enough to win that game. So I'm not here to pick on Herbert, man. I'm just, I just go after the people that make it sound like he's arrived and he's the second coming when he hasn't won anything yet. And so I need to see him in those big moments, and then I can say, okay, I'll give my stamp of approval, as they say, but let's slow down. I think what might end up happening is that they both end up being really good quarterbacks, Tua and Herbert. And listen, I know it's blasphemous to say it in this town, and I root for Mario, and I know that it's not going to be an easy thing to satisfy fans here. So that's one thing I am worried for Mario. But I'll be critical of Mario in this sense. I don't think he did Herbert any favors at Oregon. The offense that they ran did not really showcase his skills the way they should have. That's all I'm saying. I saw more running. There weren't a lot of signature moments for him at Oregon. And so, but he might still end up being one hell of a quarterback. But let's give him some time. Let's wait till they actually accomplish something. Let's see consistency. Let's see, moments where you are elite. Speaking of elite, Omar Kelly is elite, and he's going to join us on the other side. So we get to our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
When you're ready to purchase a new home loan or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee, and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today, 786-802-1727. Or online at adreamlending.com. When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411, and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. The Big O Radio Show is looking for an experienced salesperson in the radio or TV business. The candidate must have at least 5 years of sales experience in the broadcast business over the last 10 years. Please email your phone number and resume to bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. That's bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Looking for an aggressive person who can help our platform expand into many avenues in our business. Reach out if you are the person that's able to make a difference. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Friday, it's hour number 3, coming to you live from the beautiful dealership that is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, where we've been broadcasting from for 11 years now. Great sponsors of the show. The Dolphins are going to get ready for a little New York Jets. And Dougie Fresh, I see your police squad request. You never know. Stuff like that could happen on this show. You got to just tune in. Let's talk a little Miami Dolphins football. And you know, we love doing it with Omar Kelly and the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins reports. For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
All right, we are back, baby. Let's get into a little Miami Dolphins talk. Like we don't do enough of that here on this show. That's for damn sure. Any show on the planet talks more Miami Dolphins. Any show on the planet has more Miami Dolphin insiders than the man, the myth, the legend right here. This is one of our stars right here, Omar Kelly, baby.
You've got two legends.
We got 2 stars now. Oh,
yeah.
I like it. Well, 1 star and, you know, 1 fizzling star. You know, we all know. We all know the real star is in that picture.
Yeah, you found that funny? Yes. Yeah. We had a health scare, so we had a health scare, so Daddy's playing Daddy Daycare today.
Okay. I like it. All right, the good thing is you're staying away from the facility, so you're staying away from COVID. So that's actually a really good thing.
Yeah, we still got to go to practice to basically serve as pool reporters to tell you what's happening today. You know, as you know, Myles Gaskin and Ahmed Saban Ahmed have returned to practice.
Yeah.
If they're cleared to practice, they clearly will be cleared to play in the game because they're allowed back in the facility. Now the question is whether Javon Holland will be cleared tomorrow. How
about Lindsey? How about Lindsey?
Yeah, Lindsey too. I mean, here's my thing. He's coming back from an ankle injury, and he doesn't really know the offense, and that's one of the questions that I really asked.
I just want him blocking, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
at this point, I'm not worried about a running back running anymore for the Dolphins.
Oh, wow.
I just want him to block. That's all. I just want him to pick up one of the blocks that one of the linemen miss, and somebody becomes free, like Lindsey did on that big Waddle catch. That's the only thing I'm thinking of right now. You know what I mean? And I thought Cameron Wolf made a good point on Wednesday when he joined us, that he said that Malcolm he thought was the better blocker. So if they get Malcolm back,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Then that's what I like. That, you know, at this point, I'm not expecting anything in the run game. But if at least you're going to play running back, bro, please block at least. Please block.
I think they need something in the running game. I mean, you can't be the worst rushing team in the NFL, which is part of the reason why I was kind of excited to see Duke Johnson, because at this point, you can't get any worse. You got to do better. You got to do better than what they've been doing. Right now, they're tied with tied with Houston for the worst rushing team in the NFL. Just imagine where this offense would be if they had a 4 yards per carry average. Right now, during the streak of winning 5 straight games, they've attempted 28 attempts per game. Think about that, Big O. 28 attempts per game. And it's really because the balance is important. Without the threat of the run,
right?
Without the threat of the run, the RPO is pointless.
Right.
Now, imagine if you had a running game that teams actually had to respect.
Hey, look at last night. I'm watching Herbert, and he did everything to win that game. It's not his fault they lost last night. He played a good game because they dropped some touchdowns on him yesterday. But he had 200 yards rushing. And I'm like, man, I wish Tua had 200 yards.
I don't need my quarterback to do that. I don't want my quarterback to do that.
No, not the quarterback, doggy. I'm saying the team rushed for 200 yards. You know what I'm saying? The quarterback ran for 30. He had one long run that's kind of what it was. But I'm saying as the team, they ran for 200 yards. What I would give for Tua to have 150 yards rushing in a game, that would be fantastic.
I'm not even greedy. I just want 120. Just give me 120 without 30 carries.
You are correct. You are right.
I listen, and people don't really understand all that goes into the RPO offense, and we're learning it. I'm learning it. There's so many different elements to it. Have to be able to throw the slant. Have to have a jet sweep player. Have to have a seam threat tight end. Have to have a guy who can stretch the field. Have to have a running back who can pass block. You have to have an offensive line who can get you, who can create creases with teamwork and tandem blocks. And have to have a quarterback who makes smart, quick decisions. I think the only thing the Dolphins have on that list is a quarterback who can make smart decisions.
He throws a slant better than anybody out there, bro.
He does. He throws a ridiculously good slant. It's very catchable. He throws a very catchable ball.
He's not the problem in any of the equations.
No.
Okay. All right. I think he's proven that. I think the problem in these equations are a lot of the things around him. It's not him. You know what I mean? And so that to me is the real issue here. Like you talk about whether it's the running game or the offensive line. Those two issues right there for your RPOs, man, that would change everything.
And I said something on X's and O's, and I really thought about it and gave it some deep consideration. The way that they've operated this season and this offseason, and it's like they're, and I hate to say it because I know it's not true. It's like they're unintentionally sabotaging him in every facet of the game around him and around the RPO. They failed. And I'm like, how is an organization that then tried to trade for another quarterback in the midst of probably one of the worst sagas or dramas, legal troubles?
And if you dig a little bit more, you'll find out not everybody wanted to trade for him in that building.
Oh, man, let's not go there. Let's not.
I'm just telling you, everybody in that building's on the same page.
We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Listen,
it's big, and you'll find out.
Whenever things don't happen or things fall apart or things make them look bad, it's always I'm sorry. Everybody was on board. They've been trying to make that trade happen since April, March.
They weren't all on board on Tua either, my brother.
Listen, and nobody's ever all on board with it.
I'm just telling you that when it comes to that quarterback stuff, there's a lot of there's several heated disagreements going on. Let's just say it that way.
Oh, all right. You keep believing that.
Oh, I'm not telling you what I believe.
Okay.
I'm telling you what's going on. Okay?
All right.
I'm telling you what's going on. Not everybody's on the same page in that organization. They can tell you all the BS they want publicly. They're not on the same page.
They listen, in order to do anything, they've got to be all on the same page. It's
publicly they tell you that.
Everybody isn't always.
you could tell by the actions on the field and the results that they weren't on the same page.
You can tell by the lack of performance that they suck at their job. All of them.
Well, offensively, they have put themselves in a suck at their job stature. Nobody can argue with you on that. Nobody can argue with you on that. Well, certain things. You know what I mean? Not everything, because obviously it's not you can't suck at picking Jalen Waddle, and you can't suck at picking Mike Gesicki, and you can't suck at picking Tua Tagovailoa. You know what I mean? So there are things that they're doing right, but there are things that, whether it's your offensive line picks or whether it's your offensive line development or your offensive line coaching or your offensive coordinators or whatever it is, there's other areas that definitely you are suffering big time.
My thing is that when you look at this organization and you look at the 2 years of failures in free agency, we're not bringing up the draft. We're not talking about.
I got you.
And you look at the fact that they're going to have $72 million in cap space and have the opportunity to probably create another $20 million by purging players. And you say, okay, we're going to have these guys do it all over again. Draft, that's one area. That's fine. I don't outside of their ability to pick offensive linemen and maybe linebackers, I don't really concern myself with the draft. Now, free agency, where you should be able to sign proven commodities, you should be able to make smart decisions, you should be able to read the room, you should be able to negotiate well, because that's what Steve Ross and this organization, they should be doing, is negotiating well. They've been piss poor, and they and it's just like last offseason where I was just like, okay, you can't make the same mistakes you've made the last 2 off seasons with running back this offseason. You can't. And here we go again. They make the same mistake.
Yeah, well, you got to fix the line first. Either way, your backs aren't going to get anywhere without that line. You got to get that line fixed. Omar, you know that the backs they have now would be serviceable with a good line. They wouldn't be great.
I don't want
they would be serviceable. No,
I don't want serviceable.
I know what you're saying, my man. I totally agree with you 100%.
If
you're
having success now because you're running the ball 28 times. Who runs the ball 28 times in the NFL? The Dolphins do. And you're having
Baltimore,
Indianapolis, but
yeah, Indy does too. That's right.
If you're running as much as the best rushing teams, and you have the worst run game in the NFL, but you're doing it because it's a predominantly important part of the RPO offense. The first word is run.
Yeah.
And you don't put an emphasis on improving the talent that you have in the backfield, and not just the talent in the backfield, but the talent you have on your offensive line.
Right.
You suck as an organization.
I'm with you, but I'm saying in the end, it starts with the line. Because if you have a good line,
I've preached that for 14 years.
If you have a good line, you'll have a good running game, no matter who it is. You have a good running game, and if you have a good line and you put a great back, then you'll have a great running game. That's the difference, obviously, because a great back will take it to another level. If you have a good line, Omar, there are plenty of teams that can run the ball at you because they have a good line constantly. And they'll lose a back, and they'll get another one, and they'll get another one, and they'll still run the ball out.
Denver's that team, and
it used to be a team.
Yeah, I saw some. They're still running. They're still a predominantly run team, in my opinion. We'll see. But yeah, I don't disagree with you. I've preached that for 14 years.
Yeah,
like I preach when everybody's. This is the first year I ever strayed from get the offensive lineman, and I felt like Jalen Waddle was the right pick, but Sewell, he would have helped you. He would have helped you, and you could have went and got Elijah Moore later.
Yeah, it can't hurt. I'm with you there. All right, and that's the thing, man. It's just a matter of, and I would imagine that this offseason it's a pretty obvious thing that you've got to get that offensive line fixed, get that running game going, and you got to get an O-line coach.
We can say things were obvious.
I don't know if they can find it.
They had to add talent at wide receivers. You know what's going to be lining up for Tua this Sunday? Devontae Parker, Mac Hollins, Mike Gesicki pretending to be a wide receiver, and Isaiah Ford.
It's a hell of a foursome.
Well, how different is that than the team that Tua ended the season with?
Yeah, no, not much of a difference.
There is no difference.
No.
There is no difference.
No.
Except Jakeem Grant's not there saving, rescuing everyone.
Yeah, I tell you, and he is there to save everybody. I mean, he puts on the cape every once in a while.
Hey, he's a free agent. At this point, the return game is non-existent. For 1.5, come on back.
Now with Flo, Flo can't be here for him to come back. He won't come back with Flo. It's probably going to be the line in the sand. Now,
Flo didn't drop all them passes.
No, I know that, but Flo should have just played him at special teams. Leave him alone there. Just leave him there on special teams.
They were. He wasn't happy. So.
He was still playing him at wide receiver, which is just crazy. But anyway, okay, so
that's what they
COVID wise, no other new developments.
Nobody got popped today.
All right, that's good.
I mean, they're quarantined. Half the team is meeting in this room. Half the team is meeting via Zoom. They're all doing team meetings over Zoom. They're only practicing in person. There's been so many changes right now. We're back to what we had to finish the season with last year, which is basically everything is Zoom. And truthfully speaking, the product didn't get impacted last year. It shows you that they don't need to be in the building for 9 hours doing all this foolishness. And I expected it to have the same result this year. They'll finish these games and they'll play and they won't reschedule and the NFL will keep it moving and will survive this outbreak again.
In talking with Flo, somebody's got to ask him. I wonder if from here on out are they going to have like a third quarterback away from the team or something like that now?
That's a good question. Because
Kansas City did that last year. They were the first team to do that, and that was really smart.
Yeah.
When they had somebody away from the team. And if you're Miami at this point, man, maybe you want to keep a quarterback away just in case.
Yeah, I that's a good question. A good question for a Monday. You clearly won't put the two quarterbacks in the same room or same vicinity for a while.
Right. But I don't know who's the third guy now.
Washington State Luton,
that's it. Josh Luton. Yes.
There you go.
Yes. I actually like that kid.
I did too.
He's got skill sets to play in this league. Now, can he play? We'll find out. But
yeah.
But I actually liked him as a project guy late in the draft a couple of years ago when he was coming out of Oregon State.
I did too. At this point, you gotta, and this is truly a great test because their whole wide receiver room got cleaned out. Whole running back room got cleaned out. Imagine if it was your running back room and your wide receiver room. That would be mind blowing. That would just be another chapter in the legacy of Tua, of Tua's rise to greatness. Remember that game when all the running backs and all the wide receivers caught COVID, right, and Tua went out there and won it with practice squad players against those wildly crazy Jets teams. Today, listen, I got to share this with you. Today,
mm-hmm.
And I spent like 5 minutes laughing at this. Brian Flores was impersonating Bill Belichick, and he talked about how Zach Wilson has become one of the hot quarterbacks in the NFL. And and I'm like,
well, he's hot because his mom is hot. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I digress.
I'm literally dying laughing. I'm like dying laughing because I had just spent like Wednesday looking at Zach Wilson, and it is hot trash. It is worse than John Beck in 2007.
Dude, it's part two of Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold was way better than this.
I'm saying they're both turnover machines.
Sam Darnold was way better than this as rookie.
Sam Darnold's a turnover machine is my point. He was a turnover machine at USC. He was a turnover machine at the Jets. He was a turnover machine in Carolina.
I don't think that's Zach Wilson's problem. Zach Wilson doesn't know what the hell he's looking at. That's his problem.
But he turns it over.
And he hasn't learned how to check down properly. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, when you have a quarterback playing that bad, I don't care if he's a rookie. I don't care if he's a number 2 pick. You sit him because there's no returning from that. Like, you're going to break him, and then he's going to see ghosts for the rest of his career. He's going to create bad habits that never change.
And he's in New York.
Yeah, like you got to play.
Don't ever let that part slip. Okay, he's in New York, which then he has to deal with all those tabloids and everything else. Oh
no,
my.
you got to reel it back in, man, because it is bad. He's
got a loudmouth mother.
Is she a loudmouth?
Oh yeah, she's gonna go when they start picking on him. Oh man, she's gonna go after all the fans. It's gonna get ugly.
Listen,
ugly.
I'm so excited to see this game because I think it's gonna, even with Javon Holland not playing, and we won't know that until tomorrow at about 4:00. I think there's a good chance he can get activated because 2 running backs who you clearly know hang out with each other all the time, they got activated.
But that was last. Did Holland get also called last week? Also like them?
What do you mean?
Was he COVID last week or early this week?
No, he was the 3rd guy COVID. No, 4th guy COVID.
From last week, right? From last week, then.
No,
right?
no, this week.
So how can he clear?
Nobody. Oh yeah. You're right.
No, Gaskins and all these guys were from last.
You're right.
Week.
They were last week.
If Holland's this week, he can't. There's Waddle has no chance at playing.
Yeah, Waddle has no chance.
But I don't know about. I thought Holland was early this week.
No, Holland was early this week, but he's still got to produce two negative tests, and there's a possibility. Like, Waddle has no chance.
Right. No. Waddle's done for this week at least.
Yeah. And Isaiah Ford, you can expect him to step up and be that slide, and Mac Hollins and Mike Gesicki, and as Brian.
Hey man, listen, if all those guys are healthy, I can count on Isaiah, bro, to play the slot and play good. I can count on Devontae Parker to get me a couple fades and some slants. I can count on Gesicki to make some plays. And I know I can count on Mac Hollins because all he does is make plays.
4 touchdowns and 7 receptions. Maybe this is the game. Hey, listen, and I thought about this, and I'm going to shoot this idea to you. This is Preston Williams' game. Come on. Don't quit on me.
I already quit on Preston. I never quit on you. I love you. You're like my brother.
Listen,
Preston Williams, I quit on his Dogecoin ass a while back already. I'm done with him.
Remember when people were talking about Preston Williams is going to be a Pro Bowl talent, and Preston Williams
is a Pro Bowl talent.
He is a Pro Bowl talent. He is.
He does. Pro Bowl talent.
The talent is there, man.
Hell yeah, the talent's there.
This is week 15.
Is the heart there? Is what I ask you. Is the heart, the determination?
I think it's more the intellect than the heart. But
I don't know if you watch a lot of Heat basketball.
Yeah, I watch.
But I'd like Preston Williams to watch a kid named Gabe Vincent, and he should watch that kid and what he's done the last 2 years and how he's grown and how he plays with balls, how he plays with moxie, how he plays with hunger, how he plays with desire, how he gets pissed when it doesn't go well for him, how he pains, whether it's a loss, how he wants to win. And that's what I want to see from Preston Williams. I don't see that from his ass. I see a Generation Z that is just,
going through the motions.
Yeah, exactly. Great line. Just going through the motions, dude.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know that his career is in the balance right now.
He's no Isaiah Ford. Isaiah Ford is cut, sent to practice squads, traded away. The sumbitch never gets faded by it. Never is down on his confidence. He fights it all. And every time you give him an opportunity, he plays his ass off and helps you out. He is a pro's pro. And I admire the hell out of Isaiah Ford because you talk about people that have determination and belief in their dreams and they don't stop. That's Isaiah Ford and that's Gabe Vincent.
listen, if somebody is going to step up and save this team and get them to the playoffs and be that talent that's missing from this team, I give you two names: Philip Lindsay and Preston Williams.
Okay, I see what I see where you're going. I've lost hope for Preston, but I see where you're going. It makes sense what you're saying.
If the light bulb came on and Preston said, "Okay, I got my assignment. I'm that split end," like, or you can make me the flanker, or hey, I'm reliable as an H-back.
If the light went on, you wouldn't have to draft another guy next year.
Oh well, I'm just talking about the Final Four. You got to draft.
I'm saying if the light went on with that talent, he would become a real player opposite of Waddle, and you won't need to go reach for a guy in the first couple of rounds.
You got to do that anyway. But but I'm just saying, if they want to get to 10, it's the answer is simple. The defense got to keep playing the way that they're playing. Philip Lindsay's got to show up, and Preston Williams shows up. Both of those guys show up, and the defense keeps playing the way they're playing, and Tua plays a clean game, and the offensive line gives them some sort of protection. 10 wins, promise you. Now, will that happen? Doubt it. But you need somebody else offensively to step up. Who it'll be, I have no idea. Preston Williams is the most talented of all of those players. He's in the most need. Hell, they need him to be a punt returner. Remember when he got hurt returning punts and Dolphin fans were like, why is our most talented young receiver returning punts? Oh, my God, how stupid is this coaching staff? Okay. He's a talented punt returner now. There was a reason why he was taking punts from Jakeem Grant. He's got talent. He's got that wiggle.
Yeah.
And at this point in his career, he should be raising his hand for every single job that's open. Gunner, need me? Hand raise.
Right.
Punt returner, you need me? Hand raise. Kickoff returner, need me? Hand raise. H-back, hand raise. Because he's not guaranteed. He's a restricted free agent at the end of the season. They're probably going to pick up his option, but it ain't guaranteed. It's not guaranteed.
No, I'm with you.
And neither is his roster spot.
All right, you got him winning on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about all the COVIDs, but
of course,
I mean, but it's the Jets. What do they got? They're giving up 30 points a game. They got Zach Wilson as their starting quarterback. Michael Carter might come back this week, and that's scary. But they don't have much to offer. They don't have much to threaten.
So basically, the Jets are the virus. I got you. Okay, all right.
And I'll be watching the NFL to see if these players are giving each other daps and hugs and like you gotta cut all that stuff out right now before you pass it to the next locker room. Like you gotta cut that stuff out.
See the Browns? They've got like 20 people on the COVID list, dude. I mean, it's like a crazy ass list, man.
All it takes is one, and supposedly this Omarosa version,
this thing spreads quickly. Yeah,
it spreads quickly. So I'm being cautious myself.
So, but apparently, your wife's a nurse. Apparently, it's not as bad, right? Apparently, is that true? That
it's. I don't know. I can't sit there and they don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody can tell you.
I know they're all learning every day about this.
They're learning. This one spreads quickly and easily.
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable. Like how many more is going to spread quickly and easily? Yeah. Like what the next version is going to spread by just walking by people? Like what's going on?
It morphs. Yeah, it morphs, dude. Because as long as we stay unvaccinated, we keep it alive.
I just saw something. They're allowing 5-year-olds to be vaccinated. It is what it is. My daughter goes for her 4-month and 8-month visit, and they give her 4 or 5 vaccines at a time. COVID will be stuck in there just like the rest of them.
Right. Vaccines have been a part of our lives completely, dude. Measles, whatever it is, we've been taking vaccines forever, man. I mean,
I just want the world to go back to normal, so my life can go back to normal. But truthfully speaking, I don't think I'll ever be back in the NFL locker room, ever.
Ooh.
And
I hope that's not the case because
tell me how it's going to be the case.
No, I'm saying I hope it's not the
Yeah,
case because then the league will never be covered the same again. And we've already lost.
they don't want the
I
league.
know what they don't want. I don't care about what they don't want. I'm just saying what I want as a fan. I like being in the locker room. I've been in the locker room. I've watched you guys in the locker room
You cannot have the
and we get to
conversations
find
you
out
need to have
more.
without
Right.
being in the locker room.
Exactly. We get to find out more about human beings, and what they're going through, because that's the story we're not telling enough. So we bring perspective into everything, and that's what you guys do. It's not just about X's and Omar. It's not just about the analysis and who's going to win and not, but it's also about the human being and what they're going to and how they got here.
The
These are the
Robert Hunts.
stories. Yeah, these are the stories you want to find
we
out
get,
about.
We get a little bit of that, but we don't. It's so purified and cleansed. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's bogus. It's bogus right now. So, it is what it is. All right, my brother. I appreciate you as always. Have a great weekend. We will talk post game and hopefully a happy post game there from Sports Grow. It is the reason why they're 5-0 because we switched from Miami Lakes to Bird Road. Obviously, it's not.
There's a Miami Lakes Sports Grow.
Yeah, there's a Miami Lakes Sports Grow. We were there for 8 weeks. Thanks for noticing.
Send me the address. Like, bro, I didn't know there was a sports grill that close to me. For real. I know where they are in Kendall.
For 8 weeks. For 8 weeks, the man was on a post-game show.
I didn't know you were the Miami Lakes version of him.
It's right off of 154th, right on Miami Lakes Boulevard.
I thought you were in Kendall.
You know Palmetto and 154th?
Yeah.
Okay, you get off, you go west, and it's the shopping center immediately to your right. It's right there.
West shopping center immediately to the right. Okay.
Right, where the Publix and the Outback is. See, fat people know where food is at. Those are our what's it called?
The superpower?
Yeah, that's what we use as reference points. Okay, Outback. See, fat man knows where Outback is, and Sports Grill's right next to it. So there you go. See, in Publix subs. See, So fat people know where all
that's the best point you've made this segment. The accuracy is fat people use food as landmarks.
All right.
Omar, it's literally 10 minutes from Hard Rock Stadium.
Yes, it is 10 minutes from Hard Rock Stadium, which means you could have visited us for some of those post-game shows, and we would have fed you some. I
got too much work to do, but I definitely I've been craving those special grill, man. That double grill.
Yeah.
The best wings in South Florida.
Well, yeah, you never know. You might have an opportunity on a monthly basis to eat them because I might be working on something else. So you never know. You never know as we expand here on the show. Oh, have a great weekend, my brother. We will talk on the post-game show. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
You got it. There he is. Omar Kelly on Twitter at Omar Kelly. And he's at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Okay. Not at the Miami Lakes location of Sports Girl, but he's at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. So make sure you subscribe and follow it. That is the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
We thank Omar Kelly, as always, for joining us. Good stuff there by Omar. Appreciate all of you out there, as always, keeping it locked. Remember, many ways to participate on the program. You can reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. Follow us there. You can also, make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. That is Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show through Cash App or Venmo. Always appreciate the donations to help us grow. Boy, what a funky day in the market, how it went down and then it started skyrocketing back up again. It is weird, but it's we thank them for the dips. We thank them for the dips. Nothing wrong with the little dip action there in the market. What else do we have going on? Well, we had Ira earlier on the program. If you missed that, you can go back and check out the interview with Ira. It talked a lot of stuff about the Heat. We had Manny Navarro on at 11:30. Talked all things Canes and coaching and all kinds of stuff. And then obviously we just had Omar Kelly there. So 3 fantastic interviews there. Always appreciate all of you out there for joining us here on the program every single day. Let's see. Big O, do you like turnkey cranberry subs at Publix? Oh, I mean turkey. Turnkey. Why did I say turnkey? Turkey cranberry subs at Publix. I have never tried a turkey cranberry. I like the cranberry juice, but I don't eat the regular cranberries. Okay, so no, I've never tried that, actually. I have tried a turkey sub. I've tried the chicken subs there at Publix. What else? Chicken, different types of there's 2 different types of chickens that I've tried there. So yeah, the cut up breast one, and then obviously the slices. So yeah, I've had all different kinds of subs, but never a turkey and cranberry, my friend. No, I have not had that, Richard. Wouldn't Lamar Miller be around 35 years old? Is he that old already? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But he's in his early 30s. You're close, but I want to say he's more like 32 or something. Yeah, let me look it up for you here. Okay, Lamar Miller, there we go. And Lamar Miller is 30, actually. 30, born in Miami, Florida. Went to Killian High School. Okay, there you go. So, what else do we have here? You guys are talking about. Drago says, but the more you use Preston Williams, the more his warranty gets lower. He's more prone to injuries, so that's why I'm just using them on receiver. That is true. Listen, man, he's not even good enough to use as a wide receiver. He's just not reliable. It's the problem. And that's the most frustrating part about Preston Williams is that guy has the talent to be a stud in the NFL. But how many people have we ever seen like that in the history of the league, in the NBA, in Major League Baseball? I can't tell you that about hockey because I'm not well versed enough in hockey about that, but I'm sure anybody that's a real hockey nut can probably remember a couple of really talented guys that just were severe underachievers. I remember a guy named Wes Chamberlain, who was incredibly gifted as a baseball player, and was drafted by the Phillies. And man, he just was on the all runway team. He was built monster. He had all the athletic ability, bat speed, you name it. The guy should have been a monster and couldn't never get there. For one reason or another. I remember a Brian Taylor got into a bar fight and all that and really never developed for the Yankees and things like that. So I know guys that I've watched in basketball and football and baseball that you knew had the ability, you knew they could get it done, they just couldn't find a way. Harold Miner could not figure out how to make his talent work in the NBA level. Sylvester Gray could not figure out how to make his talent work at the NBA level. You know what I mean? And it's a weird thing like that. It's a weird dynamic. Sometimes it's a lack of laziness. Sometimes you're a knucklehead. Sometimes you just aren't smart enough. Sometimes you just can't figure it out. Sometimes you're not dedicated enough to it for whatever reason. But we've watched those kind of guys. And Preston Williams is that guy. Yesterday we were talking about how Zion Williamson is eating his way out of the league. Remember, and I told you that we had Hot Plate Williams in the league years ago. Those of you that are young, you didn't know anything about it. Maybe you looked it up after I talked about it. Well, you look at Preston, it's kind of the same thing. You've got all the ability, kid. You got every chance out there. Be a professional. Do what you have to do to take care of your body and concentrate to the point that you can hang on to the football and make plays. your chances are running out. And I know how these guys work because they fail, and then 5 years later when they're 30, 33, and they've run into the, all kinds of roadblocks in life, because life is a bitch, as we all know it, because we live it every day. Then they want to go back to the game that they played, and now they want to show incredible dedication, but it's too late now. They're too old. Their talent has gotten dry. Their talent has dried out, and they'll never reach that pinnacle. And why? Because you didn't take it serious the first time around. And that's what Preston Williams looks like to me, like the guy that's not taking it serious. The guy that really doesn't understand that the good Lord above blessed him with the ability to go out and be whatever he wanted to be on an NFL field, and he doesn't take advantage of it. That's why the Tom Brady's last so long, because to this day, he's appreciative of every moment he's on the field, practice, meeting rooms, games. He appreciates it. He loves it all. Those freaks are like that, dude. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan and all these kind of guys that live it, eat it, breathe it. You want to be great at it? It's not a part-time thing, dude. That's just the way it is. Preston has to understand that the corner that's covering him, that's a full-time job for him. The nutrition, the workouts, the training, the discipline, all of that, everything comes into play. And every time you see a great player, you always find out they're fanatical. They're maniacal. They want to make sure everything is done the way they need it to get done, because that's how they become great. So the question is, Gabe Vincent wants to be great. Whether he ever becomes great or not, we'll find out with time, right? But maybe he doesn't become great, but he becomes good. Maybe he becomes a really good role player. But it's never going to be from a lack of, he wasn't trying. He half-assed it. I love that kid. Max Strus plays with fire. That's what I was just talking about earlier about Isaiah Ford. Why I admire the crap out of Isaiah. I know Isaiah Ford will never be Jalen Waddle. I get that, dude. But that doesn't mean he can't be a good player, can't be a serviceable player, can't help you out. You know what I mean? There's plenty of guys like that around every league. You need all those kind of guys. Caleb Martin, yeah, another one that's looking like there's something there. You are correct. So now I'm being told, try the turkey cranberry sub. Okay, I will try. One day. I don't know. I'm not a big cranberry guy. Yeah, that's my problem. I'm not a big cranberry guy.
I do not do cranberries.
But I can drink the juice.
Yes, very right.
It's so weird.
And cranberry and vodka. Fantastic.
Right, yeah. I love cranberry vodka. That's my drink.
So good, yes. Same here.
Okay, good. I'll treat you to a couple when we're in Vegas.
Yeah.
So, damn. Yeah, that's the only thing. Radically says, Big O, have you heard anything about the Dolphins giving Mance a shot at right guard with Hunt back at right tackle? Mance did a great job at run blocking at center. Radically, I haven't heard anything, dude. At this moment, I don't know anything about any changes on the O-line. So I'd be lying to you if I told you I knew anything about it.
And that's the one bad thing about this, because I'm sure most of the reporters, they're not having them at practice right now, right? With everything that's going on. They're not even able to see who's kind of out there.
And they probably won't do any team sets in front of them. They'll all do just individual crap, and they won't allow them to see what they're going to do.
Yes, you're not going to have a chance of even accidentally slipping up and seeing something. Until maybe game day morning, I guess, if they're out there.
I find it hilarious watching Flo answer questions, because you can see his eyes and his mind slowing everything down to try to think about, how do I answer this without telling this guy anything? And it's just like he's crafting everything. It's funny, man. It's freaking hilarious, I got to say. I have not seen Bad Santa yet. Boy, you guys are peppering me with Bad Santa every day now. You really want me to see Bad Santa?
It has been on TV the last 3 or 4 nights. Just you know.
Okay.
I think AMC, I believe, is it's got the Christmas marathons on, so they're just rerunning.
I'm sure it's
all the
on an
Christmas
app
movies into
somewhere.
Oh no, I'm sure you can go to YouTube and probably watch it.
I
as a
have
matter of fact.
YouTube, I have Hulu, I have Netflix, and
To be honest, then you have no reason of why you haven't watched it yet. I'm just saying.
no, that's there is no reason why I haven't watched it. That is the truth. You are not lying there. Okay, you are not lying there.
I was waiting for you to do.
Yeah. No.
What I'm waiting for is
No. As the overweight kid in Six Pack would say, that ain't no lie. I don't know if anybody picked up on that, but whatever. Big O, rat one of my brownies. You'll tear up a turkey cran. Bet that. Or you mean rat one? You mean like eat it?
I think you meant eat one.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, rat. But like a rat, you know, you chomping it down. So I get it. Bad Santa uncut version. Oh, there's an uncut version?
I'm sure there's about 12 different versions of Bad Santa.
Okay, well, if there's an uncut version, then that maybe I should watch that one. Antonio says, I am cranberry guy. LOL. He says you can't watch a censored version of Bad Santa. No, I would never do that. Those shows, there are certain movies that if it's censored, like, why am I watching it? I need to hear the bad words. That's kind of part of it. Once I ran into The Exorcist, right? And you know the scene where she spins some stuff out and she looks at it and she says, your mom sucks something in hell. You know, you know that? So that scene on TNT, it's your mom sews socks in hell. And it's like, she sews socks in hell. Like, you know,
job.
like back in my day, I can't talk about you sensitive little millennials or Generation Zs. Oh, don't talk about my mom or whatever. But, you know, in our neighborhood, the idea was, what's the biggest cut down you can come up with, right? Your mother's this, your mother's that, your father's this, you did this, you did that, your girlfriend sold this, that. And it was all taken as, you know, the idea was to come up with a bigger one, right? And everybody would laugh and all that and would have some fun and roll with it. I don't think you little sensitive bitches here in the last couple of generations can actually handle that kind of stuff, okay? So, you know, I'm watching The Exorcist, and, you know, that's an evil bitch, man. She's got the devil in her. She's spewing out some green stuff. You know, she's not, you know, what kind of an insult would it be at the park when I go back at the guy and I go, well, your mom sews socks in hell. And everybody's going to stand around the court going, dude, what's wrong with you? That's terrible. It's not even funny. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do something that laughs, you know? So you got to come up with a real insult. I mean, your mom sews socks in hell? What kind of an insult is that? I'd be confused if an exorcist did that to me.
Really?
Yeah, it's like,
If an exorcist did that to you.
Yeah, it's like, she sews socks in hell? Couldn't she do something worse? Like sewing socks in hell? I don't know. Doesn't move me. Huh?
What can you do worse than hell?
I don't know. We can come up with some, I can't say it here on the camera, but I can come up with some really nasty stuff. I can think of some stuff you could do in hell to other people and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to talk about that at the moment.
Christmas Story Part 2 on there. What?
I could come up with some dirty stuff for some former radio wannabe owner or PDs or something.
I'm just going to stay out of this. I'm going to pipe my mic down.
We have no fear here. We stand on our own on this show.
100%.
Damn straight. Have you seen The Dirt, the Motley Crue movie on Netflix? Not a fan of Crue, but it was awesome movie. I saw it like 4 times. I love The Dirt. It was great. Loved it. Big O, the pea soup vomit sure helped to embellish that scene, The Exorcist. I'm with you, man. It was just gross. Bad Santa uncut version is hilarious. That's the best one. Well, I'll make sure that I'm watching the uncut version. Big O, this show's about keeping it real. Please tell us, those traumatized fans, that we are not on the level with Tampa, KC, Chargers, and the Buffalo Bills. Well, I don't know about the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills aren't so... Give it to them.
Blind ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind ass fan coming through.
Oh, there you go. You got it. All right. You wanted it. You got it. Okay. Big O, what's your go-to meal at Sports Grill for Sunday? Burgers, sliders, are a sleeper. In fact, that's what I had last. I had the sliders. I had the sliders on the last trip. I had the burger sliders. I love the sliders. They're terrific. I agree with you. They are. I love the ribs. You know, their ribs are, I don't think we talk enough about Sports Grill's ribs. They are fantastic. Dude, the special grilled wings are my favorite, one of my favorite dishes on the history of the planet. You know what I mean? It's just special grilled wings I love. And I do love their barbecue wings. They do a good job with those too. There's a lot of things, dude. Their fritters are awesome also. Have you had their conch fritters? Those things are ginormous, bro.
Mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, we have the mozzarella. I steal one from his.
That's what it is.
Right. You order the mozzarella. I steal one from your thing. So yeah.
Damn
you. Don't cut on Damon Arnett. No, he might shoot me. Big O, after you finish the Bad Santa movie, you will want to fix some sandwiches soon. Ask the merman. The merman. What the hell is that, Anthony? Sports Grill ribs, are they on the Flanagan's level? Yeah, man. Hell yeah, they're really good, dude. Yes. And I'm not here to diss Flanagan's. They do a terrific job too. But yeah, Sports Grill ribs are delicious, dude. That's my wife's favorite dish at Sports Grill. Yeah. She always orders the ribs. Like 95% of the time that she goes to Sports Grill, she orders the ribs. She loves their ribs. Okay?
I'll have to give them a try next time.
Once in a blue moon, she'll get the wings because that's her second favorite. But, dude, I mean, most of the time she wants ribs. She loves the ribs, dude. So, yeah.
I always experiment on the sauces with the wings. I usually go wings. It's always grilled, special grilled, and I'll either do barbecue or barbecue garlic or medium. But I stick with the wings, though. I'm going to try the ribs. I'm going to try the ribs next time.
Try the ribs, man. The ribs are, I mean, my wife swears by them. She loves them, and I've eaten them many times, and they are absolutely awesome. It's her favorite. So it is December 17th. This day, by the way, in music history, in 86, more than 4 years after breaking up, the Doobie Brothers played a reunion show in Palo Alto, California to benefit a charity. It inspired them to do a reunion tour the next year. And by the way, they are now going to continue their post-COVID tour with Michael McDonald. So I want to see that Doobie Brothers one more time. I saw those Doobie Brothers years ago. First time, 77, Boston, Doobie Brothers and Poco at the Miami Baseball Stadium. 1994 on this date, Bon Jovi's guitarist Richie Sambora married actress Heather Locklear. In 2005, Billboard revealed that U2 had the top grossing tour of that year with a 90-date Vertigo tour, which was seen by more than 3 million people and grossed $260 million. In 77 on this date, David Bowie released his fourth album, Hunky Dory. And in 2012, Billboard named the top 3 songs of the year were Gautier's Somebody That I Used to Know, Carly Rae Jepsen's Call Me Maybe, and Fun. We Are Young. Yeah, baby. Tonight.
That's why you came up singing that song today.
We are young. So let's set this world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun. I love that song, by the way. Whatever happened to that band? Did Fun come out with anything else? That's a great song. I love that song. It's an inspiring song. Carly Rae Jepsen, yeah, Call Me Maybe, whatever. Nah, not my deal. Although I do like Gautier, somebody that I used to know. That's a good song. I like that. Whatever happened to Gautier? Like, these are two.
They went to
Yeah, they went to Fun and Gautier basically were one-hit wonders. The good thing about being a one-hit wonder, 20 years later, you can still make money. So it's, my man is still making money from Mambo number 5, and he does a credit card and all that, and Lou Bega has that one song. That's it. And by the way, I can listen to Mambo number 5 anytime you want. It's a cool song. It's got a great beat. There's nothing wrong with a one-hit wonder. Hey, anybody that makes fun of a one-hit wonder, you tell them, hey, that's one more hit than you ever had. Okay? Because, some one-hit wonders will last forever. Fun might be one that might last for a while. Big O Mariah Carey's making a killing off royalties this month. Oh, Christmas. That's right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I tell you, she did a all-star game once that she had this tight, like, I think it might have been a Washington, maybe they were still the Bullets then, dress. And I tell you, that thing was burned into my mind forever.
Apparently, it's still there.
It's still there, bro. I mean, it's kind of like Madonna, 1984 MTV Music Awards, I want to say, Like a Virgin. Yeah, that may have been the hottest wedding thing I've ever seen in my life, was Madonna, high as hell, pumping the floor at the MTV Music Awards in 1984. Yeah, there's those moments that are just iconic and they stay with you. Serena in a cat suit. Yeah, how do you forget that? How in the world can you forget that? You know what I mean? Just certain things, Farrah Fawcett, poster, couple things that can poke your eyes out, just these are things that just burn in your mind forever. And you can't get rid of them. There you go. Chef Sparky says Fun had 2 huge hits. What was the other hit? I don't know the other hit. I apologize. I didn't know that. I don't even know what the second hit. Do you know the second hit for Fun?
I'm looking it up right now.
You're looking it up? Okay.
Fun 2 hits.
Okay. Fun 2 hits. Well, then that's pretty good. That's not bad.
Okay, here we go. Carry On.
I don't know it. Don't play it. Don't play it, because I don't even want the mic to pick up.
Oh, it says
some
known
guy
for
says
3 hit.
Some
We
Nights.
Are Young, Some Nights, and Carry On.
Okay.
Those are the 3 hits.
I'm gonna have to listen to Some Nights and Carry On in the car on the way home, because I have not heard of any of that.
We definitely can't play them here.
Yeah, no, because then YouTube is like, they are just a little frustrating with all of that. Folks, don't forget, we are at Hialeah Park every Thursday. So join us out there at Hialeah Park every Thursday. We will be back here in 2 Fridays from now, because we are out here.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's right. The 31st will be our next time that we are here. So you have plenty of time to do the lechon and everything after we leave here. You do? Okay.
Yeah, I got the
Cajachina ready to go?
Friday. It's ready to go for Friday as well.
Okay. All right. So there you
Firing
go.
that bad boy up twice. This
Yeah. So you know that one day we're gonna have a Big O show get together somewhere, and you're gonna be the guy that cooks the lechon for everybody.
I love cooking it, and then I eat it up.
Okay.
We're not getting the full pig this time, though.
Well, no, but we're gonna need to get a full pig for everybody to come visit us.
Oh no, if we do that.
So,
Yes,
we're gonna next June, when we do the 1-year anniversary of restarting this whole thing. I think in June we'll plan for some kind of a get together next year. That way it's kind of in the summer and all that. And then we'll plan and somewhere where somebody gives us some space. we'll have a cookout, and we can all get together and all that. And, hopefully by June of 2022, we'll have a lot less cases out
when
there.
we say cookout, we don't mean just burgers and dogs either. We doing some food.
Dude, Fun won a Grammy in 2013. Is that song that old already? Really?
Hold on, man. Let me see.
No shit.
Yes.
We Are Young is from that date? Wow, man, time flies. Holy crap. Giovanni says, seen Fun at Coral Sky. They were pretty good. I'd like to see them. I don't know too much about them. I know that song. I love that song. I got to check out Some Nights because a bunch of you have put that in there on the text machine. Lead singer had a hit song with Pink, too, a duet. Really? I like Pink. She is super, super talented, man. She is really, really talented.
2013, We Are Young won the Grammy Award for Song of the Year.
I didn't think
and
it was
the band won Best New Artist.
I didn't think it was that old.
And they were nominees for 4 other Grammy Awards. Man.
Wow. I had no idea. Wow. Man, time flies. Brutal. We get old quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Really sad. All right, we are out of here. We will see you on Sunday, and we'll see you at Sports Grill. All right, Bird Road and 114th. Come on out and join us, man. Remember, come on out here if you need a brand new or certified pre-owned vehicle. The selection is amazing here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Come on out and make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you at 15601 Pines Boulevard, baby. Come on out and join us as always. We will see you on Sunday. A little different time because it'll be at 11 a.m., but same bat channel. I love you all.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for an experienced salesperson in the radio or TV business. The candidate must have at least 5 years of sales experience in the broadcast business over the last 10 years. Please email your phone number and resume to bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. That's bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Looking for an aggressive person who can help our platform expand into many avenues in our business. Reach out if you are the person that's able to make a difference.